Hello and welcome everyone to the University Clash exhibition match powered by Expos between Team Medishock from University of Bern and Gecko from ETH Zurich. I'm Kachka, joined by Rail to bring you the best of three tonight.
And this best of three is going to be interesting. So not only have these teams
Mhm.
played in a different scenario, they've played in CSGO, where Gecko came on top, so Zurich won that one. So technically they're 1-0 up in their rivalry, and there is quite a rivalry between these two states.
Yeah, we have talked to the players before and some other people, and we learned that there is definitely something on the line, even though it is an exhibition match. They are playing, I guess you can say, for the pride of the region. So we'll see who comes out on top. And as you said, it was Gecko who took the win in CS:GO. So now Medishock will have to try and bounce back, but they have a whole best of three of League of Legends, and that we haven't seen from these teams before.
And interesting enough, when we jumped in and talked to the team, what we got to talk to, we found out that lane swaps might happen. So not everything
Yeah.
might be what it seems. And obviously, some players don't own all champions, so we will see some placeholders when we need to. So we will inform you as soon as we find out which is which. But when we get into that, we will let you know.
Yeah, we will, as to the best of our ability, let you know of any different changes and swaps that happen. But we took a look at some of these players. Let's be honest, we are expecting more of a light-hearted game, but we can still talk about what our expectations are in terms of the champions coming into this match.
Yeah, so looking towards that top lane, we already thought straight off the bat it's probably going to be Bruiser versus Bruiser. It's going to be
Mm-hmm.
a more or less aggressive lane as it is, especially with the way current meta has even gone. Even with their comfort alone as well, it even adds towards that. Stridebreaker being good, Gore, Divine, all three of them just being insane on current champions. And when we mentioned lane swaps as well, there is a Nocturne main, there's a Malzahar main. Both these champions are very strong right now, especially the Nocturne. So be interested to see what they're looking to ban away. But even when we look towards the mid, both mid laners both want Malzahar.
Yeah, that is true, and we do have Medishock on the blue side for the first game, so they will have that privilege of the first pick. And starting us off with the bans, Zed is going to be the first one off the table.
Yes, Set very strong. Pretty much just is a free pick in current meta because he doesn't really have many losing lanes, and even the ones he loses, he can just sit at tower and be safe and kind of just not be punished at all.
Yeah, and makes sense to just get it banned away. Also, I do expect a lot more, focus towards comfort rather than straight meta, but Viego still makes the list in that scenario.
Yeah, you mentioned it before, like just Viego and Gwen are both just kind of stupidly overpowered. That you can play them if you want to play them, and the Viego is more simple to play than the Gwen, so not really surprised to see that taken away. So probably, like you said, we will probably see more comfort and less of these meta picks, less of the common ones what you expect to see, like the Xin Zhao and such.
Yeah, and TF and Malzahar both are champions played all by the mid laners. B-Rate plays a hell of a lot of Victor, and Naxei plays a lot of Malzahar, and now both of them are off the table.
Yeah, so that Malzahar isn't going to be contested here, but I tell you what's going to come through, the
Mm-hmm.
Nocturne.
First pick it. I mean, it works great in the meta. I do believe that the Falter also plays it quite a bit. Hopefully in the jungle. We did mention there are lane swaps, so I assume they are in the order, but we will see in the end.
The hilarious part was just the fact when we was talking about this before was like, oh, they might not pick the Nocturne, even though they do have a
Mm-hmm.
Nocturne player, they might not do it because of the lane swaps. And then it just comes through first pick. I do think this is probably the strongest first pick you can get on this current patch. Obviously, there is the Xin Zhao, but Nocturne's just so simple to pull off.
Yeah, quite possibly. But now we do have the two picks from Gecko, and it is Lee Sin Ezreal. I mean, Ezreal is a meta AD carry that works. The reason why don't necessarily saying the same thing about Lee Sin is I'm not entirely sure where this champion is going.
Yeah, Lee Sin has the triple flex as it goes right now. Able to be flexed into top, jungle, and mid. So they really have an open book on where they want to throw him. And the Ezreal, like you said, just really safe. Doesn't reveal anything about your comp, doesn't reveal how you want to play this game. So again, the draft from red side is just really showing nothing at the moment.
Yeah, and it's exactly what you want on red side. You've got the last pick, so you're going to show as few cards as possible before, well, you finally lock in your comp. But now, Medishock going for the Severe Karma. Assuming it is a bot lane, this is one of the OG safe slash pushing bot lanes.
Yeah, and that denies the Ezreal Karma combo, which is becoming more and more popular and just really strong and really annoying. Because Karma makes up for the fact that Ezreal can't push fast early, so Karma does it for him essentially, and Ezreal just last hits. Um, so pushing against Sivir Karma, good luck. Sivir's gonna shove you in entirely. If that Karma's going bot, she's gonna help with that. If not, she can still go to that mid lane. She can still go to that top lane. Still very, very flexible.
Yeah, could very well happen. Now, Victor on the third pick for Gecko. I do assume it is going to go into B-Raid's hands, as it is a pick that he is very much familiar with over the last few seasons.
Victor's just always that very, very safe mid laner. He falls into that scenario of Orianna, Syndra, Victor. These champions, if you've just played them in the past or have a lot of games on them, they're always just so safe and they're very, very reliable champions. And Victor even fits in with poke with Ezreal as well. So if you want to play poke, you can. Victor's very good at sieging. He's very good at team fights. He's just a really, really well-rounded champion. So again, it doesn't really show anything about what Zurich wants to play here so far.
Yeah, kind of keeping us in the dark. I would assume they might want to, if they are looking towards the team fights, go for some more, engage options, especially with the support. And in terms of the bans, Medishock are expecting the opposite because that is Seraphine, Lulu, two enchanters now taken off the board in the second ban phase.
See, I love this because you look at Bern's comp already with them three champions, they want to run at you. They want to get into your backline, they want to dive you. They have a Sivir for the speed up, they have a Karma for more speed up if you want that, and they have a Nocturne who's just going to dive straight onto whoever he wants, whenever he wants. So getting rid of enchanters, getting rid of that extra protection for these champions is a really good pickup. So you may think Ezreal has a dash to get away from Nocturne, but Stridebreaker is this. It's a 90% slow. So as soon as he's Stridebreaker, even if you E away as Ezreal, unless you're Eing over a wall, you will not be safe.
Yeah, as you said, there's just absolutely no way that this Ezreal gets to stay safe without someone peeling this Nocturne away. And
oh no.
This is an even bigger oh no.
That's illegal. Like, this is like throwbacks to when you see Shen Hecarim. That was one of the most disgusting combos when Hecarim was broken, but now Hecarim's fell down a bit, but Nocturne rose up. Now you have Shen Nocturne to do the same combo. You make Nocturne even more tankier, so he can just practically suicide dive, but it's not going to be for suicide anymore. He's actually going to be able to live and just dive heavy into that backline.
Yeah, and then Lux as well was the other pick that Medishock managed to pick themselves up. It is just going to provide long-range damage. There's another shield on top of that. So I like the comp that Medishock have gone for it. It definitely feels more, cohesive, more like a singular goal. And this is what I'm looking at when I'm casting these sorts of games. It's like how easy it is to execute your comp.
Yeah, looking at Bern's comp, and I think that's the one I like the most because what you just said, very, very easy to execute. There's not much you can go wrong on. Lux is a very, very safe mid laner, can go barrier, can go TP. Don't ever want to see that ignite. Please don't do that to me. Can clear very well against Victor, especially in the early game. Before Victor has his Hex Core, you can keep Victor shoved in and deny him a fair few CS in the early game, where Victor needs that to get his first Hex Core. He needs 100 to get his first one. So that's going to be able to keep him shoved in. Bot lane's going to be able to keep shoved in. The only one that might be pressured a bit more is the Shen should get shoved in by the Gnar early game. So that's the only lane you're going to lose pressure in, really. And I think that's a well trade-off.
Yeah, in the early game, it does look like Medishock are very much set up, but let's maybe now try and switch the perspective, focus more on the Gecko team. We haven't necessarily jumped on it straight because I look at this comp and it doesn't really feel like it has a singular identity. But you mentioned Gnar in the top lane having pressure. With the Lee Sin in the jungle, it looks like a potential way to win this game for me.
Yeah, that's a nasty 2v2. They both have very, very good early game damage, and if they want to exploit the Shen, they definitely can. Gnar doesn't need to hit Shen while he's in the Spirit's Refuge, which blocks the auto attacks. If Gnar throws his Q, it still does damage through that. So you can still damage Shen quite a lot. You can still stun him in it. Generally, is a good matchup for Na. You can't really be punished very often, and you can just bounce away every time Shen tries to dash in on you. So you're very, very safe into this lane. If Lee just provides that extra backup and helps put this Shen behind, the Shen Nocturne combo isn't going to be as strong.
Yeah, when you lack the damage, then what? Perfolter is just going to go into the backside and do exactly what? In that case, we will have Cammy on that Ezreal that will be able to jump away, and you have the Nocturne left with nothing. So it definitely feels like a good tactic if you are Gecko to just get this Nocturne behind, because then Victor Ezreal, they do scale like a truck, especially Ezreal. I feel like the Sunderer build is still going strong.
Yeah, it's still going strong. It's still the preferred build. And the interesting thing, the more you look at Zurich's comp, the more you see they can actually front to back really, really well. Lee Sin can kick Nocturne out. Na can push him away. Victor has his gravity field, which is just such a big zoning tool because it lasts a fair round. So they could easily wait out the Nocturne, peel him off, and then re-engage. They have plenty of disengage and re-engage. That is what I like about Zurich's comp. So if they can pull that off, I mean, that can nullify the Nocturne.
Yeah. And now maybe a sort of different question slash perspective. Is Nocturne the centerpiece of Metashock's comp? In the sense that if Perfolter falls behind, is that, all she wrote? Because I look at Naxayan and Lear and I feel like they can still definitely catch.
For me, it will have to depend on Enla's build on Sivir. Obviously, there is two different builds you can go for. You can go for the normal crit build, or you can go for the lethality. So you do have two options on the board there. And the Lux even gives you the option to play for that pick comp. If you clear out the enemy's vision, the Lux binding can just fly out, and then you know the rest of the story. When that hits, it's just you're gonna get blown up.
Yeah, it's not going to be pretty at all. But yeah, we are just waiting to get into the game. I'm excited. First game, best of 3 ahead of us. Hopefully going all the way to 3 games and quality League of Legends action on the Rift. And who do you think has an upper hand, I guess, coming into this match? Who would you give the, slight perspective, sorry, not perspective, slight advantage over to for some reason?
I'm just going to say Metashock just for the fact that what we mentioned earlier, they have the simpler comp. They have the easier comp to pull off. It isn't too difficult. It's very, very simple, very straightforward. And even if they try to exploit the Shen can play very, very safe. It's Shen after all. He's just very, very consistent at staying back. Obviously, he has that shield as well to protect himself. So I feel like even if they try to exploit him, there's a chance that he can easily just get protected and sit back.
Yeah, I think I like that. I do, go a lot to the ease of execution when you look at literally any team below the pro level, and even at pro level it matters. It's just such a big thing, and I look at the Metashock's comp and, it feels simple. Press R, go in. If it works great. But there are, of course, a lot of things that could go haywire in the meantime, and this is really where, all of Gecko's opportunities to win this game will come from.
Yeah, for sure. I'm mainly just interested to see where both teams are going to start, because there could be an invade for sure because you have a Karma, but at the same point, it's probably just going to be standard 5-point. I just want to mainly see where the junglers are going to path.
Yeah, so we are in the game. As you can see, Extend is currently sitting on the red buff, whereas Befolter is sitting in the mid lane, and it seems to be a 5-point cover from Metashock.
And interesting enough, we have the Exhaust on Karma. We have Dark Harvest on Sivir. This could mean we might have the Lethality Sivir come through. And that I actually like better here. For the fact that even if Ezreal builds Frozen Heart, you're still going to chunk him very, very hard. So I'd be happy to Lethality Sivir, but we're going to have to wait and see.
Yeah, and I'm also now looking at this bot lane maybe from a different perspective with this Dark Harvest. Sivir Karma has got enough poke, and whereas Ezreal tends to, answer this poke really well, something like Leona, not really. So I could definitely see a world in which the Metashock bot lane just pokes their opposition to death and finds kills that way.
For sure, and being able to sustain through that is another question. Like, Ezreal isn't going to be able to sustain, especially early, against that. He also opted towards the tier as well, so he has no built-in sustain from the Doran's Blade. I don't like the tier start, I'll be honest. It's kind of punishing yourself because you don't even get the extra HP either.
We're gonna have to see if Cammy can make it work, but yeah, I do agree with you. It is a bit greedy, maybe, if you can say that, especially if you can start seeing the poke come through RT and positioning forward, hitting the Mystic shots instead.
Interesting enough, Gnar is pushing himself back in this lane. He doesn't really want to tangle with the Shen early. He's kind of just taking the L, really, just saying, okay, you can have the early push.
Yeah, not contesting that wave at all. Yeah, second wave's arriving. You can see B-Rate having the push in the mid lane and also health advantage over Naxei. For now, we'll see when it turns to potions, that's when it starts getting important. But Extend started on the red buff, is now doing the Gromp.
Yeah, it's an interesting path. It looks like he went buff to Gromp. Not actually going to opt towards a full clear. So I actually don't know what he's aiming to do because on paper, I would like him to start bot lane and path towards the top lane like we mentioned. Use that early game advantage, protect that Gnar so Gnar doesn't get behind, and that just keeps your early game power going. So, interesting enough, the Lee Sin is towards the bot side of the map where his only gank option is really bot lane.
Yeah, and it could definitely go for it. It's going to prioritize the Scuttle Grab for the time being, but you do have the Leona in the bot lane, and Severe Karma. Spell Shield is really the only thing preventing you from a full lockdown by that Leona.
Yeah, no, I agree. We see Nocturne on the Gromp as well, so he's heading towards that top side, which not just went down to see if Nocturne's around in the area, so he has more preparation to what's actually going on down here.
Yeah, Extend is now looking for a gank in the bot lane. Cammy getting extremely low, has to flash away, but RTN is going to drop down. First blood picked up by Cammy, and now Enlia is going to be the next target. Burns both Sanders. Cammy so incredibly low and survives the lane. 2 kills over to Gecko.
It turns out the gank pattern actually worked out for the Lee Sin, coming around to that bot lane and exploiting Enlia and RTN for overextending. Very, very nice early pickup, and Ezreal gets away with a tier start.
Very much so, having a kill and an assist right now. All of the summoners are gone as well from the bot lane of Metashock. I feel like this is a huge thing from what we said early on, how we have to really watch this Ezreal. Now Cammy is on a great trajectory to just coast through all of the items that Ezreal needs to pick up.
Yeah, for sure, and Ezreal has the Caulfield's Warhammer now, so that's definitely going to help him out a fair bit. Interesting enough, didn't opt towards that Sheen, which definitely would have helped him too. So it looks like he's just rushing his Mana Moon instead of working towards that Divine Sunderer.
Yeah, I mean, I know the Sheen provides quite a useful, spike in the lane, having that extra damage on the auto attacks. Now, I'm looking at Enlier's inventory. That is a double starting item buy. Opts for the tier after the Doran's Blade.
Yeah, I mean, probably didn't have really much else to spend their money on, so just went for tier and the boots, being a bit more protective, and they don't have cleanse against Leona, so that's actually going to help hurt them a lot, because you can only spell shield one thing.
Yep, and last time I counted, Leona has 3 abilities, which have crowd control effects. So that isn't really too fair, all things considered.
Yeah, for sure. And you see, because of this now, Ezreal and Leona have the complete priority, not bot side of the map. I say that, and then it just swings completely.
No, they don't. No, it is a massive wave currently going into Cammy and Best Bard. I guess now the question is, well, not one that you can really answer. It's up to the bot lane of Metashock to answer. What are you going to do with this priority? There isn't really too much deep vision. They do place a ward in the brush. Neither of the junglers really showed that much, what is it called? Intention to play around this dragon early on.
No, for sure. And all this means, to be honest, is that Lee Sin can just wrap around bot lane again. You've seen the way he pathed last time. He came through the tri-bush. Doesn't matter that you ward river. Lee Sin will make his way back down to bot lane, and especially if you're going to touch his crab.
Yeah, there is no mid lane priority for Medishock, so you really got to get out of here, but the Zenith Blade will connect and engage onto RTN is coming through. Easy kill. Picked up by accident, flash, stun onto Enlir. The shield is now going to come through with the stand united as Yankee getting into the ball lane. Finds the taunt onto accident, but it's a 3-on-2, and Medishock can't really take this fight.
Yeah, and because of that, Na's going to get some free time in that top lane. That's a Shen ult used. That's a long cooldown as it is. So you're going to lose the extra pressure of that. Nocturne soaking a lot of XP in the top lane though. Because of that, he's hit level 6.
Yeah, you really gotta watch out for the paranoia when it comes. Unfortunately, this dragon is not going to be one of these fights as a play in the bot lane. Nets Gecko the dragon and an early goal lead of 1.5k.
Yeah, it's kind of what we expected, if we're being honest. We kind of expected the team with Lee Sin to have some early game pressure. Not this much, for sure, but they're definitely building up that early game advantage using Lee Sin, bringing him back to bot lane as much as possible, and just kind of exploiting the Civic armor.
Yeah, I mean, the duo is still ahead in CS. You can see Enlir being 10 CS over Kami, but other than that, it hasn't really worked up to the hype that I got when I first saw that it's Dark Harvest on this Civic push.
Yeah, we kind of just guessed as soon as we seen it. It was like, okay, that's lethality, right? And talking of lethality, Lee Sin is making lethal moves to his mid lane.
Yeah, Naxei will flash away. Really good flash from the mid laner of Medishock and the final spark as well. You have to believe if that kill landed, then maybe that would have been a kill.
That is a Lux with a Doran's ring and an amp tome.
Yes.
And it does that much damage. It's just so disgusting when you think about it sometimes.
I mean, it's just a beautiful champion, though. Like the final spark as an ultimate is just absolutely disgusting as a execution tool.
Yeah, I remember when it used to give the cooldown reduction if you got a kill or assist in teamfight. You was able to get off like 3 in the late game, and it was just like, okay, this is just not balanced.
Yeah, there's just a straight up not fair as Enlir and RTN are pushing in the bot lane. Pafalter is sitting in this brush waiting for an opening. We already mentioned the paranoia available, but Kami and Best Bard are just sitting under this tower. I don't think there's any play happening here.
Yeah, and to be honest, you look at the times they've been aggressive. The only time they go aggressive is when Lee Sin is here. So they know something's up. They know they don't need to take this because 1, Lee Sin isn't around. 2, you don't need to fight without Lee Sin. Lee Sin has gave you the advantage, so just wait for him to come back again.
Yeah. Well, we are 10 minutes in, and to be completely honest, we still haven't seen Medishock make any moves that actually work out. They definitely did something. I mean, Bianchi pressed that ultimate once in the bot lane. But is it something we should be worried about? Is it still acceptable? 10 minutes in? I mean, it's still quite early.
Yeah, it's still quite early. I think if Nocturne passes his way to that top side, he can definitely find something towards this Gnar, because struggle to find something in the bot lane, but Gnar is being permanently pushing the Shen. So that is definitely probably your better option to look for.
Yeah, now Pafalter is trying to path up towards the top side, but if you look at the vision, there is absolutely none. In the top side jungle now, I guess there is a control ward on the Herald, but that is purely because Axton wanted to go over the wall in order to take it. But neither of the teams are paying any attention to this side of the map.
Yeah, and the Scryan Vision does not see Nocturne here. He knows someone's around because they just hit his own vision plant, but has no information about the Herald being taken until he hears the sound.
Yeah, well now Pafalter will be very much aware of it. He's sweeping this brush, so you can clearly see that a play is about to be made by Medishock in this top side of the map, or well, at least Pafalter is looking for it. But Exton taking the Scuttle now, invading the jungle. We'll find out that the blue buff isn't here.
The thing is, look at Lee Sin's items. He has a big item advantage on Pafalter here, knowing that he doesn't really want to tangle with that just yet.
Yeah, and Pafalter is instead just backing off. Not really wanting... Okay, that is not okay. Naxei is 45 CS behind.
Yeah, I mean...
He should not be winning this trade.
That says everything. This is my point. Like, her ratios are so high for no reason whatsoever.
Alright, as I guess this is how you spell shield a Leona. Getting rid of the Q stun seems to work just fine, and Leia and RTN are going to be able to win this trade in the bot lane.
And the Boomerang Blade hurting a lot even before having any AD in their inventory other than a longsword. So just wait till they start picking up a bit more. That's really, really going to hit Ezreal hard because both sides hit Ezreal there and he got down to about 15-20%.
For sure, yeah, the Clawfield Warhammer now completed. That is a lot of ability haste in this bot lane as well. They will be just able to fling spells left, right, and center. So yeah, you really gotta watch out if you're Cammy. We said great start, got that 1 kill, 1 assist. From there, just sort of farming up and okay, now this is what I'm talking about. Those items on Ezreal are great.
Yeah, this is a bit better. Has the Mana Moon.
Yeah.
Not fully completed yet, needs 360 on that. Or does it collapse? Lee Sin waiting in the wings.
The Sonic Wave is going to go wide, unfortunately for Extent, and RTN gets to walk away. Of course, B-Rate will win the war over the control ward. Standard vision shenanigans. The next dragon is that ocean. It is spawned already.
Narrowly missing the victor there.
Yeah, but both teams are just ready to fight here. This is the big thing that we should be focusing on. There is definitely a fight happening, and the roaming doesn't have teleport. Whereas Bianchi has both the teleport and the stand united, so it is Medshot with the tactical advantage on the Rift.
Yeah, they need to keep that Shen pressured because Shen is going to look to ult down here. And it's just a matter of poke. Look at the looks, just chipping away. Next one she hits, I'm pretty sure that's going to be the engage tool.
Yeah, Extend brought to about 2/3 of the HP thanks to RTN as well. B-Right playing really well around this controller, just creating a zone. You can see Naxe can't play as comfortably as maybe he'd like with this Lux. Here comes the paranoia though. We have the go button, but Perfolder just goes alone into the jungle and doesn't really get anything outside of the heal.
Yeah, and doesn't really even cast a fear, so he still has that available.
Oh no, and Lear is just going to get engaged upon, flashes away. Folder now low in the front side, and B-Ray takes him down. Flash away from RTN just to get away, but then Lear gets hit by the Sonic Wave, and that's 2 kills for Gecko. They've got the position on the dragon, and I really don't think Medishock are stealing that.
Yeah, no, that one's definitely going to be taken away. They're hanging around for it, but good luck.
Yeah, I forgot Final Spark was a thing, but it did come just a bit too late from Naxe, and it is the second dragon of the game. This doesn't feel like it, but Gecko are playing a perfect game so far.
They are indeed, but it's also a bit negative for the side of Bern because you have a Shen and the ultimate hasn't been optimized. The Nocturne pretty much needed you at that dragon. Their top laner has no TP. You have the numbers advantage with the Shen here. Just the Shen never arrived. He never ulted towards the dragon, so you're just losing more and more, and you're starting to get choked out a little bit here.
And we are starting to see a difference in itemization as well. That Gold Drinker was sitting in extant inventory before this fight. I can't imagine what sort of items we will be seeing on the recall. Ludens Echo also picked up by B-Raid, and we already mentioned Cammy with his items. This is now also only going to get worse for Medishock as Yankee is going to get ganked in this top lane, tries to dash away. There's no flash on extant, so we are not going to go all in.
Yeah, just throwing some pressure onto that Shen, making him recall so he loses more XP. Shen is level 10 to Gnar's level 11. So Gnar is actually starting to build a decent lead despite the CS being fairly even.
Yeah, and you can imagine when the tower goes down in the top lane, Gnar is going to have even more freedom to play around. And you know, I know you're somewhat of a top lane main, so how does this matchup really now evolve that we are getting into this mid game and potentially the long lanes?
Oh, as soon as Gnar breaks that tower, Shen does not have fun at all. Shen is usually able to go fine in the early game because you're able to trade with Gnar decently before he gets his stride. You're able to actually chunk him down because Gnar's jump cooldown is about 20 seconds rank 1. That's disgusting. So you're able to abuse that because your dash is a lot shorter cooldown. Your dash is about 10-11 seconds. So you're able to at least get 2 in before Gnar gets his back. But now at this point, Gnar has stride. He can practically just get close to Mega, start running you down with autos, force you to use something, and then chase you down with Mega Gnar.
Yeah, and we can see the gold. Really, top lane is the only lane that is still even. So if the roaming is able to take that lane over, then we have Medishock with 3 losing lanes. And that is not where you want to find yourself ever. No matter what game you're playing, no matter what comp you have, if you have 3 losing lanes and your jungle is behind, the game suddenly becomes very, very difficult.
It does indeed, and Victor has the Luden's Echo, has the Hex Core upgrade. Victor's in a very, very strong spot right now. Obviously has a massive CS lead, 151 CS to 81. If we take a look at the gold again real fast, we'll probably be able to see how far ahead the Victor is over that Lux in the mid lane.
Yeah, we will see, but however, for now, B-Rate going down into the bot lane. Solar Flare comes down, gets a slow onto RTN, the gravity kill, good zoning, but does anybody still connect? Oh, the shield from Shen, but it is not enough. B-Rate still coming away with the kill. That is a lot of burst damage onto Enleer as kill shots coming through, and B-Rate just sidesteps them away.
As cool as you like, B-Rate made it look easy to dodge there, just casually walking away from the Lux. Looks like the Civet just got obliterated. You can't stay there with that HP, not with B-Rate still in the area. B-Rate now has 3 kills from that. From that one roam, picks up 2 very, very nice kills for himself. And now we get to see that gold lead in the mid lane. 6.5k earned to 4.2k. That's absolutely massive.
That's almost half of the total gold lead that Gecko have right now, which makes B-Rate probably one of the biggest carries of the team. Right? I mean, I'm gonna go with it. He is the main carry at the current moment alongside Exton, and it doesn't really get that much better because Cammy is on his way.
Yeah, and I think a lot of credit deserves to go towards Exton with the ganks he was making happen in the bot lane, despite us judging his jungle pathing, especially in the early game. He made it work. He said, you know what, I have my game plan. I'm going to camp bot lane, got the early 2 kills for them, and then came back again, got another 2 kills for them, and just said, okay, bot lane, you've won now, because I've came and ganked your lane twice, you don't need me anymore, and it just impacted everywhere else.
Yeah, I mean, like, can we also just mention that CS advantage B-Rate is doing Naxxay dirty. That's the sentence I'm going to use for this one, because that CS advantage is over 60 right now, and we are on our way to a Flame Horizon, and it's not even 20 minutes yet.
Yeah, like, the main point we brought up early was, like, Lux can push in Victor early, but that just never happened. Victor got the early push, Victor kept Lux pushed him, which was just the opposite way round, and because of that built that big CS lead, and they're fighting again.
They are indeed. RTN is already extremely low. The Chaos Storm chasing him down out of the shield to speed up and try and get away. And Lewis here with the ultimate, but it doesn't matter. Extend goes on a rampage. And that is already a member disadvantage for Metashock. Roman uses the teleport to join the fray, and the dragon is going to be the target. The Falter still has access to the ultimate, however, no Stand United is available. Yankee on the side of the dragon looking for a way, and that is a good route from Naxxay. The dragon is now getting low. There is the engage. It is stolen by the Folder, who gives up his life to be right for it. 2 other kill. Metashock with the dragon and still get away with 2 of their members.
Yeah, they get away. Lee Sin got so low there, and he actually gets away with his life. They lose the dragon, but at what cost?
And what cost really is the big question here. It's 5 members of Gecko pushing in this mid lane. They are still yet to lose a kill. They have lost 1 tower now and 1 dragon. This is everything that Gecko managed to give up this game. That is a disgusting final spark, but no follow-up, and it's not enough damage.
Yes, not enough damage. They need to actually purchase some healing here to actually ever take down this Lee Sin. We've seen how low he got a dragon, but they could just never finish him off. They just don't have that consistent damage right now, and it's really showing. Bern are just struggling to take anyone down at this stage, and it's 10 kills to 0, 34k to 27k, 3 towers to 1. At least they have a tower and so, but they need to work their way back into this game slowly.
Yeah, and slowly, unfortunately, is going to be the way, because Naxxay just picked up the Luden's Echo, or well, is sitting with just that item and the boots. We have Enleer, who still is working towards that mythic item. Both of them, well, actually no, Enleer is ahead in CS, but Naxxay behind in CS, Enleer behind in kills and gold in general. The carries of Metashock just aren't there yet, and it is going to be a painful couple of minutes in order to get back.
Oh, for sure. It's definitely going to be painful. Victor has the Zonyas now, so even he's going to be even harder to punish at this point. Nocturne can't ever go on him at this stage now. Ezreal spiking really hard. Nearly has that Divine Sundra. It's going to be massively ahead of the Sivir in terms of items, and just that 2-item power spike for Ezreal is just a very, very big one. So really need to be careful on that. As soon as that hits, their sieging is just going to be very, very difficult to even deal with.
Walter potentially cut out of position here. We'll have to burn the flash forward, Gnar all as well from the moment, but that is 4 members of Gecko. This is not even close. Zurich picks up the kill. RTN now potentially stuck on the wrong side of this wall, but no, it will be fine. And the question just looms on my mind: how do Medishok even try to close this lead that they are stuck up against?
The main thing is through picks, you need to work that Lux pick. You need to work this Nocturne pick. You need to find people just side laning, greeding for CS, greeding for tower. Because if you don't, they'll just siege. And you can't stop their siege because they're so much stronger. If they group as 5, they can just siege you down and say, okay, if you want to contest, you're going to get laser beamed by Victor. And then you're going to be chunked below half health because Victor, 2 items, Salt Boots, is going to hit like a truck.
Yeah. Well, we'll see if they can do it. So far, Medishok are confined into their base. That mid lane in Hip Tower is just getting extremely low at this point. And Lear can't even walk to defend the tier 1 in the bot lane because he's just gonna die if he does.
And this is what I mean. You look towards that top lane. Never mind.
Okay, maybe he's not gonna die, but that is a flash gone from an AD carry that needs to make sure that they don't die now.
Yeah, True Shot Barrage, half hit him. Meanwhile,
that is a 2v1. B-Wing picked up 1 kill, but Folder can't even do a thing in this mid lane. Now an engage from the bot lane. Let's see RTN and then Leo trying to get onto B-Ray. No flash on this Victor available, but the gravity field is gonna come down. The exhaust for the slow as well of damage. The stream is trolling us a bit. B-Ray's still running, but that is the shutdown picked up by RTN.
Well, it's definitely a big shutdown to pick up, but we talked about going on Victor just being very, very difficult, and you've seen there they needed to use all their tools to get him down. They needed 4 members to kill 1. I mean, it is a good pickup. You start to build something. You took a bounty from the enemy team. You just need to work more bounties. Look towards that Gnar. Gnar's permanently in that side lane. Work on him next. Victor, as you just seen, was just very, very difficult to get taken down, and you're not going to have all your summoners to do that again.
Yeah, I think looking at the cooldowns and comparing it to B-Rage, that was 3 flashes that were used just to pick up this kill. And good news, I guess, for Medishok is that there's a dragon fight right now, so they will know exactly where Gecko is, and maybe if they can catch someone on the rotation, that could be their way back in the game, but I don't believe Gecko are going to give them the chance.
Yeah, Gecko looking to just force this down straight away, not giving them any chance to breathe. Nocturne isn't even in sight yet. Does have the ultimate, but is going to be denied vision by that pink ward. So gonna have to keep placing wards for Nocturne to see. It's down to 1k already.
Final Spark not going to be enough. It is smited away by Extant. And that is the soul point now. Mountain Soul, is it, game winning? Does it, if Gecko pick it up, is it all over, or can Medishok deal with it?
Mountain Soul is very deadly against when you're playing some champions what want to poke, like the Sivir, like the Lux. It really, really does deny a lot of their burst. So honestly, it could be game winning. There's another pick what we're trying to talk about.
Yeah, they do find this will come out from Bianchi. The Roman, no way he gets out like that. You can't do them like this. Okay, the taunt is going to land onto B-Ray. Remember, the Victor still doesn't have the flash. Let's see if there is enough damage. We are back in this. Bianchi just goes over the wall. No one falls down from the side of Gecko. It is only Pafolter that loses his life. And now maybe Bianchi as well. RTN finding the root onto Extant. Extant going over the wall, trying to get a little blast. But Bianchi is now rooted up by best Bard Zenith Blade. And B-Ray picks up the kill. Gecko are still pushing forward, but with 2 pigs, they're just going for the Baron.
Yeah, there's no one to contest him now. Pafolter's dead. Bianchi is dead as well, so no Shen either. Final Spark maybe, but even then, that's wishful thinking. Lee Sin is a hard one to steal from, but it looks like Lux is working their way towards it. They might be looking for it.
Naxa is going to try, and there we go. It did not, unfortunately, happen. And to be honest, I think at this point this might deal more damage. than the final spark. Anyways, it is 900 damage, the upgraded smite, and I am pretty sure that a level 12 Lux with Luden's Echo will not deal 900 damage just with her ultimate.
Yeah, they just had to gamble, see what they could get from that. After the play didn't work out on the Gnar, they kind of just had to scratch back at what they could. Try work a steal on the Baron, but fortunately no steal. But at this point, I hate to say it, that could be all she wrote, because clearing against Baron minions as Lux is so difficult for her. She does have good range to reach the backline, but it takes her so long to kill a minion wave now.
Yeah, that AP Lux isn't really going to do a damn thing, which I guess is good that Enlier now picking up that Duskblade. Some extra damage the Mythic finally completed. I don't believe it is going to be anywhere near enough to try and swing this game back into favor of Metashock, but they have to keep.
Yeah, Enlia is going to be kind of the saving grace in terms of the wave play. The Sivir having them 2 items now, able to clear them pretty well, but the only issue is if they go for the split push, if they go for the 1-3-1, it's going to be as difficult.
Right, Pano into the top lane, another attempt onto the Roman, but that's a flash over the wall, and it seems that the attempt is done. X then burns the flash for good measure as well. And let's see what Metashock lose for that commitment, because I see a push in the mid lane happening already with the Bern buffed up minions. Cammy take down this turret, but the wave missed a bit too thick.
In a wave is a bit too thin, but it is getting low. That mid tower, it looks like they're just going to rotate their attention down to the bot lane and just keep the pressure going.
Yeah, and Lear might have to burn either or both of his summoners, although I think that Sivir might be dead by now. Yep, that was a pick on Lear.
It's a very good guess. Looks like they're going to get the inhibitor here. They also cracked the mid inhibitor. They could just be looking towards ending. There's already a member dead, so they can look to keep pressuring this down. They have the damage.
I think it might just be possible. When you look at the ultimates, it's only the final spark that's available. Exton moving towards the topside target, trying to get some free hits. So is Cammy. It's now, yeah, Befolder, that's just not going to work, not without the ultimate. And that is, again, a 4v5. Gecko are just pushing for the Nexus. I don't think that Metashock can do anything. The Nexus itself is now going to be exposed. And 29 minutes in, an insanely clean win from Gecko.
Yeah, only dropping 1 kill, which that took them 4 members and 4 summoners to actually get them killed. It took them all that to get the Victor down, and even in the end, it didn't matter because Victor traded 1. He bought nearly a full minute of time for his team to do whatever they want, and it's just a very clean game from Gecko from start to finish.
Yeah, it was 1 kill, 1 tower, and 1 dragon. That's all that Metashock got, and ETH Zurich 1-0 up in this series. And I mean, what a start, honestly. We are both expecting coming into the game that Metashock have the easier comp, and they should be winning, but that just did not materialize.
Yeah, Exton, honestly, Sin was a problem, and they probably want to ban that away next game because you've seen how much he made happen in the early game. He gave Victor freedom so he could never get ganked. He gave Gnar pressure, and just them early 2 kills in the bot lane, just nullifying the Civic Karma picks, just kind of ruined the comp of Metashock and just said, okay, like, your tools are nullified. It's just your Nocturne now, and they never pulled off the Nocturne Shen combo together.
Yeah, I mean, I believe it was the Fisher who said, once a while ago in the LCS that for the Shen, it's the first 2 ultimates that count. Actually, I don't know if it was him. That's just what's in my head, and it's true. If your first 2 ultimates just don't click, and the champion doesn't have that same impact.
Yeah, it's mainly about ulting aggressively and not defensively. Defensively, you're just not gonna get the same impact from it, and nonetheless, he wasn't able to impact anyway. He just got pressured down by this Gnar.
Yeah, unless I'm going to get stopped by the production, I think it is time to just throw it over to a short break before we will be back for the second game of this series. So don't go anywhere because this is still all to be decided. Right, hello and welcome back after the break. We were trying to figure out some small issues and we are going straight into the champion select. This is game 2 between ETH Zurich and University of Bern powered by X-Pulse. I'm Kachka joined by Rel again, so yeah, let's just jump straight into it.
Yeah, so what we were talking about before this, we want to see changes coming into this because Bern, they really struggled with Lee Sin. Lee Sin was a big issue for them. So probably want to see that one banned away or even taken away because it caused them so many problems and they weren't able to get back into the game from the points he made.
Yeah, hopefully that is going to be on the ban list, but so far still looking very similar. Actually getting rid of B-Rate's Victor, which I do understand. It was a very annoying pick, and now we do get to see it off the table.
Yeah, I'm not surprised about that either. Like the two ones I wrote down was Lisa and Victor have to go because they couldn't stop Victor. Victor got like a 30 CS lead at like 10 minutes, which was just disgusting. Then he made it even bigger to like a 50, 60 CS lead and just got stronger and stronger. And like we said, Lee Sin just caused so many issues for bot lane, kind of just stopped them from playing the game.
Yeah, and Lee Sin is not going to be banned away. Instead, Ezreal is the one taken off the table. So both of the AD carries are off, and they are both of the safe AD carries, I must say. So it means that hopefully things will heat up in the bot lane this game. Fingers
Yeah,
crossed.
we're definitely going to get a change in terms of bot lane for sure. Nocturne is still open, but I don't know if they're going to opt towards it. I think they'll just fall back to Lee Sin again because why not? Extent had a great performance on it, and it was left open.
Yeah, and now really the question is whether Extent will have that same performance again. And also something to keep in mind is we were warned by the teams that lanes might swap. So that is something to keep an eye on as we are going through this draft.
Well, that being said, I don't think you're going to see any swaps from the likes of Zurich after the game they just pulled off. They looked very dominant from the get go. This time round, we're getting the Warwick. We heard this was, like I say, is one of his mains, or Pafolta, sorry, one of his mains. So this time round on his more comfortable champion, hoping we can see a lot more from him.
Yeah, and Warwick also, slightly more tanky, has got some self-sustain, so I imagine even if you fall behind, it is not going to be anywhere near as punishing as that Nocturne. Tristana, second lock in for not Gecko, for Medishock. That is an interesting one. Much more aggressive tone to Enlier's champion.
Yeah, she's still a really strong champion, and she is a flex pick. So Tristana can go to multiple lanes,
That's
so
true.
we still have that on the table, and she is pretty good into the Kaiser pick. So quite interesting. Obviously, Kaiser is still one of the best AD carries to pick, so not really surprised to still see her taken, despite it being a harder matchup for her. And also something we didn't mention: Set was banned last game. This time they have Set.
Yeah, locked in for Gecko, and it gives them a really, good bit of engage, something that Kaiser can follow up from. So I'm already liking the comp that Gecko are putting together. And now on the other side, Medishock do go for the Nautilus. So I think draft is looking solid on both sides right now. You've got your engage, you've got some damage. Now, really, it's, to round off. Do you want more engage? Do you want more damage? And however else you want to flavor your comp.
Yeah, for sure. Tristana Nautilus, very, very solid, very reliable as well. So not really much issue in that bot lane. And taking away the Nautilus from the Kaiser as well is a big, big pickup. This time round, though, want to see that Leona banned away because that Leona was an issue. Was good at roaming, was good in team fights, found some very, very good ults. Need to ban away best bards, Leona.
That is a very true indeed. We'll see if it actually gets banned or maybe if another support, because what I am thinking is when you are playing Nautilus into Leona, there is a really neat way that you can counter it. Whenever Leona manages to land a Zenith Blade on your AD carry, you just hook your AD carry, and actually then you hook Leona, and that gives your AD carry the chance to run away. But yeah, they don't go for any engaged support bans. They still ban away the Seraphine, though.
They're still taking away that Seraphine. Don't want to deal with that. Obviously, the set could go to this bot lane as well, by the way. So don't count that out yet because it's not too bad into Nautilus. Wouldn't surprise me if they played it because the way they played Leona, but still a flexible option here. Mundo banned away, so they don't want to deal with any extra tanks on the side of. I almost forgot the name then. On the side
Metashock
of
is red side.
Metashock. That's it.
Cool. We got it. Now, Jax was our
Oh,
last second lock-in. I am just gonna put it out there. We were warned of a what's it called, placeholder. Now, Jax isn't. I think that might have been a placeholder. We are just gonna jump out of the draft.
yeah, might be a Set can be bot lane. Set can be mid. Set can do things. He can go wherever he wants. Jax is a good matchup into him. So there is a chance it could be real. But at the same point, we're going to wait and find out.
Yeah, we are now currently waiting to see what the reason for the lobby disbanding, I guess, or Folter quitting the lobby for now is going to be. So what have we got? We've got the. I'm trying to now recall. Warwick, Tristana, Nautilus for the side of Metashock, and then
Lee
it was
Sin, Kaiser.
Set for
Yes.
Gecko. I mean, it doesn't really tell us that much, to be completely honest.
Yeah, all we know is that Lee Sin probably going jungle after the way Accident played last game. It wouldn't surprise me if he got his hands back on it. And Kaiser obviously going straight into the bot lane. Don't expect to see her anywhere else than the bot lane. So that's all we really know because or obviously the Warwick in jungle too. Other than that, the rest of the picks are still quite flexible.
Yeah, I mean, I am already expecting more focus to be paid towards the bot lane because last time you had Sivir versus Ezreal, both of them kind of just want to farm up, get into the team fights. Now it's Kaiser versus Tristana. Either of them can snowball the game pretty well if they get a few kills.
Yeah, that's for sure. They're both very, very snowbally champions, and both junglers are snowbally champions too. You're seeing games when Warwick gets ahead. It's really, really hard to slow down this champion, but aim can go for Lee Sin.
Yeah, that actually is true. And I keep forgetting that Tristana could be mid, so that is assuming that Tristana is in the bot side as...
Interesting.
Not entirely sure what this is. Hopefully we'll get some information soon.
Yeah.
Oh.
Oh, their order moved around. Look at the champions. The order moved around.
I know, but was Ari the pick for Jax? I mean, if it was, then definitely
maybe. I'd presume so because we had the Nautilus locked in there, which the Nautilus is a big, big takeaway from Kaiser. It would surprise me if they changed that up. So we're gonna have to wait and find out.
Yeah, I think that makes sense. I think Jax was the placeholder for Ari, and they just decided to swap around the order of picks.
Well, yeah, one of them left the lobby, so they just rejoined wherever they were. We do get the Ari, we get the Nautilus. So maybe it's some Roman from Endler with this Ari pick. Or who knows who's going to be on it, to be honest. But we're going to see a Roman mid lane, hopefully.
Yeah, now on Gecko's side, Tristana, it's not Tristana, Lissandra, locked in This is, I mean, it feels different from the rest of the team. Not a pick that we really see that often, but it does provide a lot of team fight AOE. You've got crowd control. You have a safe lane. So if you are looking to just brawl with the enemies, it works.
Yeah, for sure. And not really surprised to see Dinar come back again. Dinar was able to bully top lane fairly consistently, even in a matchup where he shouldn't be pressuring too hard, but he did. He controlled that top lane all on his own, got some Lee Sin attention later in the game, but didn't really need it. So not really surprised to see that come back. So we are getting set Kai'Sa bot lane with a Lissandra mid.
Yeah, and Enamumu is almost definitely a placeholder. And yeah, as we are quitting the lobby once again, I don't really speak German, but I see Jax, I see Ari, so Ari is almost definitely the pick. And apparently Enamumu is going to be that Camille. So you have Camille versus Nor in the top lane, Lee Sin versus Warwick in the jungle, I mean, and so on and so forth. Well, let's start with the top lane. Nor
That's
Camille.
that's an interesting switch up from what we've seen last game. Last game we've seen not Shen this time opting towards a very aggressive top laner in terms of the Camille. Um, it can go either way. So Camille will start this tactical sweep, able to get health back when she hits people on the edge of that. If she can start hitting those on the Gnar, she can start chunking them down a little bit before looking to engage on him. And like we mentioned before, Gnar's jump cooldown is 20 seconds at rank 1. Camille's hook shot is a lot shorter, so she's going to be able to get a lot more of those off once she blows Gnar's jump.
Yeah, and last game we saw Bianchi on that Shen not really have any impact at all. Now, hopefully, on this Camille, as you said, having that tool to punish Dinar early on, we're going to be able to see him have more of an impact. I mean, hey, if Medishock are going to try and win this best of 3, you kind of got to win this game since you are already a game in the back.
Yeah, for sure. And they decided to switch up their comp pretty much entirely, going for something more aggressive and saying, okay, like last comp didn't work. Let's just try something completely different new. They went with comfort as well in the jungle. We've taken the Warwick as well. So hopefully we see him a bit more comfortable, a bit more confident coming into this game. The only main issue could be extent on the Lee Sin again. Just need to track him, try shut him down a little bit.
Yeah, I am looking at Extents Recent, but also at just the engage in general that Gecko have drafted themselves in the second game, because you've got the Set, the Nar, and Lysandra, if you are being pedantic, I guess, can also work as an engage. But that is a lot of crowd control. And if you do find yourself ahead, this is a really good, just death ball comp.
Yeah, my main issue is if Warwick doesn't find a lead and he jumps in, Set is just going to use Warwick as his engage tool, which is just going to be absolutely perfect for Set because Warwick is going to build HP. What does Set like? Set likes HP targets. He's going to tombstone power driver the kid into his own team and say, all right, boys, it's time to fight.
True. I mean, yeah, it doesn't matter, whether or not Perfolter hits the ultimate. If he's just in the team of Gecko and we have the best bard anywhere nearby, then Warwick is just going to turn into a cannonball that is sent back in the other direction. Which I guess now looking at the rest of Metashock, at least they don't have, any what I call static carries, champions that just like to stand in the backline in one spot and hit champions. They are all fairly mobile.
The funny meme about Warwick is his ultimate is a self CC. And it is
Yes.
true. He's just sat there scraping away at people, but you can't do anything else during the time. So that's the downfall of Warwick as a champion. He is still a good champion, don't get me wrong. It's just the sad point is if you do that in a team fight and you don't have backup, you are CCing yourself. You won't be able to move. So they really need to be a bit more coordinated with how they want to engage.
And I sure hope that we will see Perfolter be more active in the early game, because game one, we had that Nocturne, got kind of hyped for what he will be able to do together with the Shen, and then kind of nothing happened. There wasn't really, any attempt from Metashock to go for those early game plays. So what I am hoping now is that they will go for those early game plays, because I'm looking at those lanes and it seems that in every single lane there is potential to gank.
Yeah, for sure. There's gank tools in every single lane this time round. And Camille, really easy gank setup there, especially the hook shot, the tactical sweep. One's a slow, one's a stun. You have both really easy to set up with the Gnar to get kills there. I do want to see Warwick pressure that top lane early. If not, sit bot lane, counter gank this Lee Sin. You know he shows priority towards our bot lane. Stop it from happening.
Yeah. Mid lane probably not gonna gank too much since B-Raid Lissandra, that doesn't really tend to be gankable. Not specifically B-Raid Lissandra, just any Lissandra. You are not going to be able to find that. But yeah, Pefalter has got many targets. But really the same goes for Extant, I feel like. With, you know, the minor, definitely, in quote marks, point that by level 6, all 3 of the laners of Metashock will have some escape.
Yeah, for sure. And so the issue this way as well, looking at mid lane in this game, both of them are high mana cost champions. So if they don't manage their mana really well, they're going to get ganked with 0 mana. They're not going to have their escape tool. Lissandra's E, Claw, is really, really easy to interrupt as well. So I do want to see B-Rate get pressured because this man accumulated such a massive lead by just farming. Just simply farming and pushing in Enler, well not Enler, Naxei, and just denying him any sort of way to get back into the game. So it's really on Pefalter to deny the enemy team a lot more this time around.
Yeah, I agree with you. Having the context of game 1 is, yeah, really doing a lot of work here because I could see B-Raid getting a similar sort of lead. It's not like Victor has any, I guess, inherent advantage over Lux in terms of getting access to the CS, and B-Raid was still able to find insane leads, so similar things could happen. This time, though, Naxei is playing an Ahri, so another point is that he could be roaming around. There is definitely that option. You don't need to be sitting in the mid lane.
Talking about Roman, you have Bianchi as well, who will happily roam towards mid lane on this Camille pick. And going on to Lissandra, if Bianchi is level 6, he's going to be able to lock them down with the ultimate as well, so they can't get out. And if you're not going to go for top lane, that's what I want to see. I want to see them roam towards mid lane and try expose some sort of weakness in their team.
Yeah, I think what we're saying in general is we want to see Metashock actually take initiative in this game. Last time didn't really happen. You know, definitely left a lot to be desired. This time around, they drafted a comp that just can help each other if need be, and hopefully for Metashock and the University of Bern, this will be the start of the comeback that they need.
Yeah, for sure. And taking a look at runes coming through, Halo Blades on the Tristana, kind of the standard. You can sometimes see the PTA again. Double Grasp in the top lane, Electrocute on Lissandra, with also Ignite, not TP. Both mid laners playing the Ignite lane here, both of them looking for blood. So interesting enough, going to show a lot of attention towards there.
Yeah, Lissandra with Electrocute and Ignite, not something I see every day, but something that I, will welcome if B-Raid just uses the nuke that he now decided to go for in the runes. But standard cover, no invades from either side.
Yep, no invade on either side. Both teams just doing a standard, or I say standard 5-point, at least in no man's land. So both teams are just covering most entrances, so they're fairly safe. Not really much going to happen in this early start. I'm more curious about Extent's pathing because it paid off game 1.
Yeah.
Is it going to happen again the same way around? He might just do blue, gromp, red bot. So I really want to see, are they going to be a bit more defensive about this Lee Sin looking for that early bot lane?
Yeah, there is an aggressive invade from Enlir and RTN in the bot side. Probably just for... No, they're actually not going to drop any wards down, which is curious. Now, last game, as you said, Extant had a bit of a curious pathing. He went on the red side, red buff into blue buff into Gromp, and then Scuttle Crab. Now, starting on the blue buff, going for the Gromp, so it's a bit more standard. But yeah, if there are any shenanigans, then we should be wary of them. And I just want to understand, why does this work? Like, this isn't standard pathing, or why does Extant make, why did he make it work last game?
It's definitely an interesting one. Even more interesting that I see E taken second on Lee Sin, not the W for the healthier sustain and clear. But if it works for you, do what you're comfortable with.
Almost doing the same clear as Extant last game.
Yeah. I mean, is he going to look for the same gank as Extant from last game? there is potential for it with bot lane being pushed, but level 2.
Kami might just be dead here. The ignite is down, but not quite enough. 100 health is what Kami will escape on. 2 for 2 in terms of summoners.
Yeah, flash heal from Kami. So it's no longer going to have that available, but there's still a heal and still a flash for the side of Metashock. See, if they can abuse this Kai'Sa even more, the fact that she lost the summoners.
Right, Beholder looking for a bot lane gang with level 3, and Lear just gonna go down to best Bard. As that is the first block picked up by the second Beholder under the turret. Can he find enough damage? Yes, he does for 1 kill. But another one goes over to best Bard. That is a double for the set.
And Leo had heal as well. Died with heal available there. And look who's came around.
Yeah, it is Axton, and RTN realizes this is not a fair fight. Gets the hook into the wall, but follow through with the resonating strike. Axton flashes forward just to make sure he gets the... Come on, get the kill at least. The hook under the turret. RTN running away. Axton picks up the kill, but is going to die. Absolute fiesta in the bot lane.
Okay, so both junglers losing their buffs, which is kind of big. So both Lee Sin and Perfolta not going to have the same pressure without them buffs, but still, nonetheless, they both pick up a kill each. But the set has 2 kills in this bot lane, so it's a very, very pick up for him, and he picks up the winged moon plate for extra movement speed.
Hell yeah, you're going to be running towards the enemies even faster now, which, I mean, we'll see if it makes a difference. Definitely after the, level 2 start from Enleer and RTN, this lane did not go how they wanted it to.
Yeah, not at all. Perfolta looking a bit more proactive in this game, looking towards that top lane already, trying to find if he can make something happen. Not gonna go mega, so he's gonna have to go melee.
Yeah, Perfolta is just taking this Scuttle Crab. Not quite in the vision just yet. Now let's see. The Roman popping out of Mega right now, and Perfolta just recalling. Doesn't have access to the flash, and yeah, I feel like a gank was possible, but instead Perfolta goes back to farming the jungle.
Yeah, lost his time window there, unfortunately. Now going back to mini, makes him a little bit harder to exploit here. Kind of exploit.
Yeah, now flash on the Snubblers. RTN should just die here. Tries to buy some time, but Axton picks up the kill. The heal from Enleer. Not enough, or I don't believe it even came through. First Dragon Infernal. It is now going to go over to Gecko.
The sad part for this is it's the same as last game. Lee Sin just tried to camp bot lane again. And every time they're out of position, Lee Sin is there. But this time round, Metashock actually have 2 kills in the early game. They have a lot more kills than last game, for sure, by 1, but definitely looking a little bit better this time round.
Looking better, but still not looking great, I think is how I would put it. Because Axton has 2 kills, that pickaxe in the inventory, now invading Perfolta's jungle. This is an improvement. But for now, it doesn't feel like it's enough, because B-Rate in the mid lane still is ahead in CS, so this is very much a similar game, but I guess more messy.
Yeah, it's definitely a similar game. Both mid laners pick up the exact same items as well. None of them opting towards the Dark Seal or Boots, which are very, very good early game pickups if you're forced to base early.
Yeah, the Bolter now is going to go over that control ward. Looks
Always
like
being pinged out.
He doesn't know that he was already spotted. Has got access to the blast cone. Will he take it over the wall? I think it might be too. Oh, the hook from RTN absolutely smurfing on that Nautilus, and Enleer picks up the shutdown.
RTN says, not today, we've had enough of you. We knew you was coming back, and interrupting the Lee Sin resonating strike. Absolutely huge. Shutting down Exton, denying him any further lead there. Really, really helping his whole team out with that hook.
Yeah, that was the highlight play right there, honestly, for the early game and for RTN. Saving Perfolta. That shutdown also going over to Enleer is making the game much more even for sure. We are sitting within 500 gold, and Metashock, yeah, I'm starting to warm up to the possibility of them coming back in the series.
Yeah, we still are interested to see who's going to roam first from this mid lane. Both these champions are roaming champions. And we kind of just haven't seen either of them move from the lane yet. Talking of which, though, B-Rate is just building a big lead again. 53 CS to 35.
Yeah, that Lysandra is just out farming Maxey right now, and there isn't really any attempt to stop him. No one is, doing anything right now, as I believe that is a spectator bug that we are seeing. Kind of happens from time to time. Riot Games, everyone. It's not just the client that's broken.
Small indie company.
True. We are back. So yeah, mid lane. Let's hope that someone shuts down B lane. Now, Lissandra has no mana and actually goes for the recall. But what are the options that Medishog have here, now that we are at level 7 for mid laners?
I mean, they both have options all over the map. And this is the thing which is kind of a little bit bothering me, that both mid laners just haven't looked to roam, because both options are easy. Bot lane especially has been the most exploitable lane. So roaming towards there, both teams have found their kills in bot lane.
Yeah. Now, nothing's gonna happen here. It's just Bard dropping the stun. And, yeah, I mean, I guess it is a bit bittersweet that we're not seeing anything. Also, Roman committing that teleport just to get back in the lane, which we didn't mention, but Bianchi is winning pretty hard.
Yeah, he's winning pretty hard this time around, 71 CS to 50. Now building a lot more defensive this time, having to rush them steel caps to kind of just protect himself. But this is exactly what we mentioned. Camille, shorter cooldowns, able to exploit Gnar a little bit more. Talked about a roam, B-rate looked for it, but not able to find it.
Just walking up, and I already can see an improvement in one area this game, and it's vision. You can see many more control wards down this time around than last game, but is the first time if you want to roam. That being said, Naxei potentially stuck in the middle, and great charm onto B-Lane, making sure that he can't cast that Glacial 2-man. Naxei gets out.
That's a life-saving charm, that one. Really, really saving his own life with that charm. Otherwise, like you said, would have been stuck in that Glacial Tomb, and you know what happens next. Extent would follow up, and that would be the freest kill ever. So, really, really nice charm, saving her own life. And to be honest, the Ari ult cooldown isn't too long, so it's really not bad.
Yeah, Naxei get to save his flash as well, so this is really almost everything that you could wish for in this situation. We are 10 minutes in, and compared to last game, this is very close. This is a good sign. Medishock looking to come back in the series, make it 1-1, get us to gameplay. It's still early on, but it is an improvement from last game.
Yes, I 100% agree. Big improvement, and looks like they sussed out a bit more of how they wanted to play, and also Metashock getting that pretty decent sized lead in that top lane as well, with Bianchi just looking a lot better on this Camille.
Bianchi needs to be careful because Exton is looking for a gang, but the sixth sense is tingling. Sonic Wave connects, Big Shot misses, but no commit on Exton. I feel like, there was definitely some insec angle here maybe, but not going to commit for it.
Yeah, Camille's still having flash as well. Not really wanting to trade flash for kill, which is not really guaranteed, basically. So, smart decision not to go for that.
Yeah. Also, there is potential for an outplay with the Hextech Ultimatum when Extant flashes. So actually, so many things that could have gone wrong here. But yeah, good choice there by Extant not to go for the risky play. As now, Dragon is up. Good charm by Naxei. The Ignite is down as well. Falter on his way. Great flash by Extant to dodge away from that infinite dress. Now, Best Bard on his way for the engage flush. Root Glacial 2 onto Naxei. That Arya stack in place. The Falter picks up a goal on the backside. Naxei still alive with that Spirit Rush under the tower. This one pick for Medishock. Double kill now by Falter. This warrior gets popping off into River. Best Bard stay alive with that Haymaker, but it's a triple kill for Falter. And Medishock are back in the series.
They're back in the series and claiming that bounty on set. And it's not the only thing they're going to claim, because this dragon is free for them to take. A lot of gold picked up there, 18.1k gold. They're now in the gold lead. And they're, like we said, just looking a lot better, looking a lot more confident.
They are pick up the dragon. Bianchi manages to get out. That was flash from the Roman, which means that this lane is now open for ganks. And with Befolder picking up a triple, I believe after this recall, Warwick is going to become a much more scary champion than we have so far seen.
And Camille gonna get a nice base here as well. Has TP very soon. Looks like they might not opt towards using it, but they're kind of just dancing around in base at this point, so I don't know.
Yeah, just keep playing League of Legends. 12 minutes in, gold is even now. Herald is being picked up by Exton. So, this has been, from our perspective, a very Metashock-centric game. And to be honest, I will still defend that because we are mostly looking at Metashock's ability to come back. But Gecko, they've still, been playing. You've got the Go Drinker picked up by Exton, mid lane. Let's not forget the farm
Mid lane,
advantage.
30 CS lead again.
Yeah. It's mass, like B-Rate is just consistently pulling off those advantages. And I feel like this must be at the very least highlighted.
And what else should be highlighted? They have quite a wombo combo with Lissandra and R in a team fight if they want to take it. And also Set adds to that.
Yeah, talking about the Lissandra, flashed away from RTN as B-Rate did have the claw going forward. And from what I can gather by the cooldowns, it was an aggression from the bot lane of Metashock that just got punished as RTN now had to use the flash.
Yeah, then forced to run away defensively, and Lissandra getting a roam off before Naxxe, creating a lot more pressure, forcing the flash out of RTN there. And like you said, there's no longer a flash there, so that's going to be their next chance to go straight back to bot lane.
Yeah, Extent still has that Herald in his inventory. You can see a ping towards the top side. So Gecko are on the initiative. They are the ones dictating the moves. They are the ones who are making the proactive plays in the game. There are no teleports. No one can join Yankee in the stop and hard, and he knows it and just backs out.
Yeah, smart position as well because he only had 30 seconds, so they really needed to get it down fast. Gonna get first hour, gonna get them played. Nice pickup for them. And look at the goal lead, it's just swung back to Gecko.
The Falter was spotted out on that lane ward. If you want to go for that gangbait, you got to do it kind of now, but there is no minion wave. The plays have already fallen. Herald gets a charge into the second tower. As the Falter has to use the ult out, is getting low, the Ignite ticking down, and the Haymaker finds the shutdown.
Yeah, big shutdown. But the only issue is, Set is getting most of the gold because he's getting these kills. He's got 3 of the kills. Kaiser's got none of them. So it's kind of hurting Kaiser a little bit.
The ball name B-Ray is just blowing up. Naxxe picks up the kill now on the backside with the Ignite, tries to run away, but will not be able to do so. Cammy picks up this kill. Dredgeline onto that Kaiser. No mana onto Cammy, but Enlir is looking to just disengage this one. Best Bard. So on about 400 HP, give or take, and RTN pulled back with the phase breaker. Dredgeline down for the aftershock proc. It's not going to be enough. The Falter joins the fight, runs away. There we go.
Interesting enough that the people who died were both the Romans. B-Ray and Naxxe both died for them trying to make stuff happen for their team. A little bit sad, but they still made something happen, but it just ends up being a 1-for-1 in the end. And interesting Lissandra build. She's going for more burst instead of going for the Everfrost. She's just going for full burst here.
Yeah, just never heard of utility Lissandra. Literally go for damage. And to be honest, I mean, it's somewhat admire that. We all know, this isn't necessarily the top level of League of Legends, so just go for that build. Honestly, if you blow someone up and it works, then why does it matter?
Yep, why does it matter? Exactly what you said. It doesn't really matter. If they can provide the damage for the team to at least finish someone or just even last hit them, it's just going to be enough to set up their team as it is. They already have a fair bit of CC in their kit as it is. They just need a follow-up.
For sure. 26 seconds now until the next dragon. That's the next major objective coming up on the map. Just look at all the red wards that you can see. Metashock really have control, and it's dark. Gecko don't see a thing.
Yep, they don't see a single thing. Look at that vision control. Really nicely put down by Metashock this game round. Like you said, it just looks like a different team. They look a lot better this time round. The gold lead is still in the favor of Gecko, but Metashock just look a better version of themselves this time round.
Yeah, and maybe it's something to do with not playing a champions like Shen and Nocturne, which so heavily rely on you making those plays at the right timings. Now, they still have proactive champions, they still make plays, but not being restricted seems to work. Now this kind of throws a wrench in what we were saying, because Gecko just walk in, sweep out some wards, and take this dragon for free.
Yeah, interesting enough, just not contesting it at all. They had no TP on the top lane, so I guess they didn't want to take it without a Camille being involved, but talking of involvement, both top laners have had zero involvement anywhere on the map other than top lane. Top lane really is an island this game.
For sure. So I'm looking at this bot lane because Extend is waiting in the bush to see if they can make a play, as RTN has to burn the flash and we are low under the card. Sonic Wave hits the minion. We are good for the time being. From what I can see, the ultimate power committed was just the Dragon's Rage. Extend is not done yet.
Yeah, the health bars are low, he can still look for this, and he does have the Gore Drinker, so he's not really under threat.
And Leo, you don't want to be standing there. Good job. Oh, the interrupt though! From Best Bard, flash forward, Ignited Dog, Cammy takes the kill with an auto attack as the Polter is running towards his bot lane together with Yankee, but I think they're a bit too late to catch anyone.
Yeah, Best Bard really is just a bait of a name. This man hasn't played Bard either game, and it's just looked really good on both champions, both Leona and the set. Just looking like strong plays coming out from the support player.
Yeah. I mean, you know, we looked at his profile and we already knew Best Bard, a bit of a bait nickname, doesn't really play that much Bard, or maybe it's just a pocket, who knows. But those engaged supports looking damn clean. That is also almost 100% kill participation. I think 87.5 is 7 out of 8. So has been really the center of Genko's success so far in this game.
Yeah, definitely agree with that. And to be honest, now it's looking like Metashock need to start making things happen. They need to start using this Camille and start grouping up. Otherwise, it's going to just be the same Gecko game as last game of just them controlling everything, making you play their game. And to be honest, mainly the kills that came from Gecko's mistakes.
Right, early game we saw huge improvements from Metashock, but they sort of dropped the ball recently. We have a 3,000 gold lead in favor of Gecko, and Metashock need to now pick up their stuff in the mid game as well. Mythics across the board, the gold leads that Gecko have aren't massive individually. They are all, within 1,000 at most from what I can see. So it's doable. You just need to put yourself together and play the comp properly.
Yeah, let's hope we start getting some value out of these top laners, because like we said, both been on island, both had zero interaction anywhere else so far. We need to see if we can actually get some value out of the Gnar or the Camille here. Both hit item power spikes as well.
Best Bard looking to get away, Infinite Duress coming through. Haymaker is going to buy a lot of time. Dredgeon is going to go wide, but there's still a shutdown picked up by Yankee. Cammy looking to return as much damage as possible. But yeah, it's just going to be a few auto attacks, nothing too dangerous.
The Gnar ult is still available, by the way. It didn't go on cooldown because it didn't fully go off, so still have that available if Cammy oversteps.
Okay, oh my god, what is this damage from Enlir? But B-Ray also having a lot of burst in the end, 1-for-1 as Extend is there to clean up the kill. Charm running in by Naxe, Extend is ignited, drops over the wall, smites the Skull Crab and will be out.
Oh, and by the way, B-Rate's gone up to a 60 CS lead. Don't mind him, the man's just casually farming the storm.
Cammy, I'm not entirely sure if that's a fight you want to take. AD carry versus top lane with a 3-level disadvantage usually doesn't pan out too well. That was probably the easiest shot out of Yankee build this game.
Yeah, I mean, that's a Divine Sunder Camille. That's something you don't want to mess with. And like you said, top laner versus AD carry, unless you're sitting at 2 full items and they're at 1, that isn't going to work, unfortunately.
Yeah, Cammy overextends on this side lane, and it sort of slows down Gecko, I want to say, but this game has been so chaotic that I don't really think either of the teams have strict plans that they're sticking to. It's just, okay, where's next objective? Cool, it's Dragon. Let's try and set up some vision and catch someone out of position, but Best Bard is going to be able to just walk towards his side of the jungle.
Right, we have 20 seconds till the next dragon as well, and this one is a big one. As you can see, all 5 members of Metashock are already down for this one. Let's see if they can coordinate. The charm hits.
Best Bard is going to be just fine. Extend drops the Herald in the mid lane. This puts some pressure onto Metashok. 4 of them backing off to go for the tower, which is already dead. The dragon is going to be started by Gecko, but no one is DPSing it. Bianchi on this side. Falter is forward, has got access to that ultimate, looking for a pick, just maybe. Exton jumps into the backside, and now we have the play from Best Bard, but he's the first one to drop down in this fight. Exton getting low RP and trying to run away on this Nautilus, will be able to just narrowly survive, and that is the roaming going down. Depth charge comes up as well, and it is Metashok just picking up 1 kill after another. B-Rate getting the only kill, and being the only one that survives, as it's 4 for 1. Maybe 5 for 1, and the dragon as well for Metashok. B-Ray will finally fall down. That's the XC.
Yeah, Bianchi had quite a big impact on that fight as well. This Camille has definitely shown up now. Took him long enough, but they got it done. That's all that matters. They take the dragon, and they get a lot of kills for their troubles. The only thing you need to worry about now, you have 3 bounties on your team. You have to make sure you don't give these over for free, and keep building on what you just did, because you have a slight gold lead now. Just need to work that up and keep progressing, because that looked a lot better.
It did. It was a coordinated team fight where we saw Metashok pick up kills one after another, and members mostly surviving. It was just RTN dropping down. And let's be honest, if you're a Nautilus, you're going to drop down most of the team fights because you're not all that tanky. However, what you said, I think, is very important to keep in mind. They have 3 shutdowns on their team, and the gold lead is minuscule. If Metashok loses a single fight, and those shutdowns go into, I don't know, Cammy, let's say, then this is suddenly back in Gecko's favor.
Yeah, exactly that. And that's the main issue I'm looking at right now. Like you said, it's minuscule, the gold lead. It's not anything big just yet. They need to still build on it, otherwise 1 bounty goes down, they're back in the game. They're back even. And they're not by no means out of this game. So it's 1 team fight could swing things. They just need to keep grouping. They looked more convincing in that whole fight. Group is 5, force it again. Play front to back, let Bianchi do Bianchi things, because he popped off in that fight.
For sure. And maybe now on split push as well, we'll see some utilization of this Camille. As, second item picked up. That is the Ravenous Hydra, sitting in Bianchi's inventory.
Yeah, full item Ravenous Hydra. That means Camille, her Q is going to hit very, very hard. And as soon as this champion gets AD, the Precision Protocol really, really does so much damage. And it just means that anyone who's tanky really is not going to be tanky for long.
Yeah, not at all. Right, so 2 dragons apiece. We have Ocean Soul. 4 minutes until the Soul Pouring. I have a feeling like this game is going to be defined by those dragons.
Oh, for sure. It's definitely going to be defined by it. And it's going to be all to play for. You've seen how early Metashok grouped for that dragon. That's what we want to see from it. It's a lot better, a lot more controlled. And they didn't give up their vision for free this time around. They said, you know what, we're all here. Like, if you're going to try contest our vision, Ari's going to charm you, Nautilus is going to look for you, we have Camille looking for you. Like, it just looked better, and I'm happier to see that they're not going to give vision over for free anymore.
Yeah, it's definitely a Metashok that knows how to define their boundaries. And just doing a quick item check, we have slight advantages as 2 items completed on everyone, but Naxxi and of course RTN on the side of Metashok, whereas the only 2 items I can see is Extant on that Lee Sin. But the thing about Lee Sin is at some point you're just the kickbot.
You say that, yeah. The thing is, with items these days, it doesn't really stop you ever falling off. So, Gold Drinker really does make up for Lee Sin falling off later in the game, but keeps him relevant for quite a while.
Yeah, fair enough. You stand corrected. As what definitely is going to be a certain, no matter what items we read, is that Bianchi on the side on the Camille will be dangerous, but as 3 members of Gecko just showing up, the Holder finally picks up his 1 kill, but is now stuck under the tower. And this looked like a good play from Bianchi, but it was Gecko with more members in the bot side now. The roaming is left all alone in this top side, should be able to just go down. Ignite, it is going to be enough. RTN picks up the kill.
The Ignite going to be enough for the pickup, but we talked about the bounties going down. The gold leader swung back to Gecko just from the bounties alone.
Yeah, and we have 2 more now on the side of Metashock, so it's not like the bounties are running out. Good charm there. Well, Naxei gets out again, just using the ultimate.
Yeah, doesn't need to use flash. Just Ari things, able to just dash away to safety. That's been really, really, I would say timid with summoners. Really hasn't been forced to use any of them, but hasn't also used them aggressively either.
Yeah, that's fair. You are playing a champion like Ari at the end of the day. Playmaking is sort of, what your shtick is. And, yeah, how to use this flash. But then again, it's not necessarily the easiest to find a target if you're Ari. I mean, I'm looking at all this crowd control, and you're not that long range, so it takes a lot of weaving in and out of the teamfight for Naxi to go for those aggressive plays.
Yeah, for sure. The main thing coming up, though, 1 Minute Dragon. We talked about this. They were here early last time, Metashock. They need to be here again, here early, get the vision down, and just be protective. You've seen how well the team fight, but
no counterplay, and Lear blows up.
Nothing.
That's it. Back it up, boys.
Back it up. It's a wrap. You can't go towards that dragon anymore because the other team's going towards Baron.
And on the 4v5, Metashock might be hard-pressed to find any answers. I mean, Perfolter isn't really even interested in trying to get this steal. Naxei now spots it out. Perfolter on his way upwards. The Roman is putting pressure down now. Bianchi is in the pit. It is a level 15 Camille. And a teleport to match from Roman. The Baron has been interrupted for a bit. Region's up to 8,000. Perfolter is still not going in there. Metashock are doing a good job of slowing down this Baron. Still yet to interrupt it. They are looking for an opportunity to go in. Exton takes quite a bit of damage on the Baron.
Yeah, looking for more, but they actually forced them off the Baron. That's good enough for them because they can start looking towards this dragon. You see them already heading over towards it. They're forcing the issue.
Yeah, and Lear has respawned. This play on the Baron unsuccessful from Gecko. They don't pull the trigger one way or the other. And Lear just jumps forward, wants to DPS. Good charm on the Roman. Brings the Nord down to half health. The dragon already dropping low and taken by Perfolter before the fight even erupts. Both teams just shake hands and walk back.
Yeah, nice pickup for Metashock there. One away from Soul Point here as well for the Ocean Soul. Definitely going to help him out in team fights, especially. This one always gets overlooked.
Yeah, and all this to stay, and especially the Sunderer champions are going to become basically unkillable as long as, they don't get locked down and all the crowd control. And it's 5 minutes, right? I feel like if you're Gecko, you're not really worried about not being able to fight the fight because they have shown us time and again that they are capable of fighting the team fights.
Yeah, for sure. And there's a very, very big power spike coming up for Tristana here. They're close to that Infinity Edge. As soon as that hits, you're going to see a massive input of damage from Tristana.
Yeah, it's going to be kind of insane, to be completely honest. We already saw Endlier blow up B-Raid before. Now it is probably going to extend to almost all the other champions. The only one I can think of that will be a problem is probably going to be Best Bard, Set, plus a lot of armor stacking. But yeah, other than that, Enlier is going to become a beast.
Yeah, pretty much that. There's not really much else to say. He's going to be an absolute beast to deal with. Some anti-healing picks up on Warwick by the Bramble Vest. Would like to see a little bit more picked up because the Lee Sin still has a lot of sustain with that Gore Drinker. Can't only be the Warwick here.
Yeah, maybe we are looking at something like an Oblivion Orb coming out from Naxei at some point, or Enlir just going for, the Executioner's Calling after the Infinity Edge. We'll see there's a recall right now. Is it enough to pick up the full item? It was interrupted for some reason, so I'll give it a few more seconds.
Yeah, this team's just looking around the Baron Gecko, just saying, do you want to check? Do you want to come clear some vision? And they're honestly just saying, no, we don't, because we don't have our whole team. Tristana has Infinity Edge right now, so this is the item power spike point. This is the point where we want to see them a bit more grouped and trying to force, because Tristana is at the biggest probably power spike for a while now, till she gets even later into the game with more range.
That is true. However, a counterpoint I do want to raise before we see is that Enlir has overstepped his boundaries a few times this game already. We have seen him caught out in the mid lane, and yes, it is Lissandra, it is kind of tough to deal with, but you still need to be watching out for that. So if Gecko find Enlir out of position, and it's not uncommon to do so, then you really gotta pray if you're Meta Shock that he's not gonna die. And the chances of that are fairly small. So we see a fight. B-Ray is not gonna press the Sonya, just blown up by Enlir. Kamino jumping into the backside. As you can see the Tristana DPS forcing the Kaiser to back off. Now another engage by Best Bard onto Perfolter. That ward is disgusting. What is this healing? Charm landing onto the Roman. And it is one kill only over to Metashock. And that's all they find, but they get away with their lives.
Yeah, they find one kill, but they're still looking to fight. They have Camille behind, but they're kind of just going to leave Camille to their death if they don't.
I think Bianchi is good. Gets tagged by the Void Seeker, but no follow-up. Like Camille did already use that killer instinct, so it's not available, but you could see the damage that Leo was able to put out in this team fight.
Oh, for sure, but I still feel like they could have done a bit more. They kind of just ran it instead of putting some autos down on their way out. You've seen how much damage they can output, but nothing else comes off it.
Yeah, kind of a disappointing fight. 1 minute until the Soul Dragon, if you are Metashock. You can already see Gecko moving in, trying to sweep some vision, getting control of the area. Really good, but recalls also channeled by the members of Metashock. That is the third item, the Sterax Gauge, picked up by Bianchi.
Yes, Turret's Gauge, very, very big pickup again. Gonna make Camille a bit more tankier. Already has 400 HP from the Divine Sundra. Gonna get some more from the Sterax. I think it's another 400, if I'm correct.
Getting on about 3,000 right now, so yeah.
So, yeah, dangerously tanky, but also gonna output a shed load of damage. Just Camille is at prime point, and she's only gonna get stronger and stronger as the game goes on. She's level 16 as it is. Extra damage in the Hextech Ultimatum as well.
One thing that I could potentially criticize Bianchi for is I would like to see maybe the Camille on the side lane more with proper control. We saw Bianchi get caught out once in this bot lane. However, you can just see him roaming around the jungle and looking for picks. Whereas, you know, there are turrets standing on the map.
Yeah, there's still turrets standing on the map, and there's no one who can match Camille in the side lane like you just mentioned, so there is that option, but Camille's at a good point here. They can find an entrance, but it looks like they're a little bit tentative.
Yeah, all of the ultimates are up and available. Some flashes are missing, notably on Perfolter, RTN, and Best Bard as well as the Roman. But other than that, all the cooldowns are up and available. Remember, if this dragon goes to Metashock, they find the Ocean Soul, which is going to be absolutely massive to help the likes of Bianchi and Perfolter sustain through the fight. But it is just the 10 stand of neither side willing to pull the trigger.
Yeah, neither team wants to make the error, and that's kind of what we're seeing right now. Whereas Metashock are trying to play off the charm, while right now Gecko are at prime position. They have Mega Gnaw. It's only a limited time. It's already ticking down, so
yeah, excellent. Getting hooked back in. A lot of crowd control forces the flash away. The claw was already used. The dragon now is being DPS'd down. It is secured by Excellent. The soul delayed. Best Bard on the front side, trying to use that flip into the backside to get something, but instead just gets killed. Naxi picking this one up and folded in the front side. Look at all this healing that Warwick has, but Bianchi on the back managing to get a lot of work in, and Lear picking up this kill, and it is just a rundown by Metashock. Double kill picked up by Enlir. Triple kill for the Tristana. Another jump forward. The Roman, the last one standing, and that's an ace. Kill picked up by Naxi.
no quadra kill for Tristana here, unfortunately, but a clean fight from them. Sure, you lose the dragon, but you wipe out the entire enemy team, and you have a wave coming here, so you can keep going even further.
Yeah, I think, honestly, if Metashock want to push for it, the end here is not impossible. You've got the Camille, you've got the Tristana. It is now only said that we spawn 15 seconds on the secondary carries, and they take the inhibitor and back off.
Yeah, it's the best inhibitor to take at this point because it's the bot lane one, so it's going to open up more pressure towards you looking at that Baron. They're going to have to deal with his supers, and the only person who has TP is Gnar, and he doesn't kill supers that fast.
Doesn't kill supers, and if Bianchi is going to decide to actually stay in the silent, he can easily kill the Roman, I would imagine. However, that not entirely sure if it's going to happen as Bianchi sticking with the rest of his team. And to be honest, what I alluded to earlier, you don't need to play perfect League of Legends here. If it works, it works. And whereas I would just love to see the Camille now sit on the sideline and just put the pressure in. You know, if teamfights work, then so be it.
I mean, worst comes to worst, the minions can do the job for them in the bot side of the map. If they don't want to split, the minions will split push for you.
No, Bianchi.
But you get your wish. Camille goes towards that bot side, going to create more pressure. Has TP, so if you make one wrong move, Camille could look towards ending the game. Interesting enough, Nars in the top side, and not in the bot lane clearing supers. I don't understand this.
This is insanely interesting. The Roman finally recalling now, but Bianchi is already in the base. Gecko are not now put under a lot of pressure. We saw last game, it was insanely clean for them, at no point where they really threatened, but now that they are really, pushed, we see that, yeah, they can be exploited. They did rely quite a lot on that lead, to be completely honest, in the game 1.
Yeah, now they're just pressuring the Baron. They know Nars in the bot side, so there's going to be no Gnar for this team fight. And they've already destroyed a bot tower. Camille is looking to fight as well.
Yeah, B-Ray going into the backside as the flip from base bar. The stun is falling onto the Folter. That Warrior getting low, finally getting down. Keep your eyes on them. Lear going to the backside, a lot of damage, but not quite enough to win the team fight. It was 2 kills picked up by the Tristana, but overall 3 for 2 in the favor of Gecko. That being said, Bianchi in the base, looking for that second exit start, now turning his attention onto the Rowan, taking way too many targets, has to burn the flash away. Still has access to that Hextech ultimatum. Will he use it? We'll probably have to at some point, you have to imagine, is now jumping over onto the Roman, can't finish off the kill, the flash away, but Bianchi still finds the kill, drops down. That is 4 kills for Gecko and Metashock. They just get punished.
Despite the misplay from Bianchi, they still end up taking down the Roman, but at what cost? They do get punished, they don't get the Baron. Sure, they open up the tower, but it looks like they just might opt towards a split push game at this rate, because they gave a lot over for that. And despite Camille not able to kill Gnar solo till very, very late, they lost their window.
Yeah, well, this dragon is still coming up in a minute, so that is a chance to regain some of that lost momentum. 2000 gold is the lead, but at 30 minutes it doesn't really matter. We are looking at individual carries. It is Enlier that I'm keeping my eyes on, and Bianchi mostly on the side of Metashock, and then B-Raid and Kami for Gecko.
That's a Blade Rune King on Tristana.
Yes, it is.
And I'm going to tell you why I don't like this.
Fair enough.
Because there's an item called Lord Dominic's Regards, what does that but better. Because Blade Rune King on AD carries and range champions only gives you 6%, which is honestly just not worth it, if I'm being honest. You don't get as much value out of it, you kind of lose a lot from it. You could just pick up a Bloodbuster, you could just pick up a Lord Dominic's. So Tristana actually going to lose a bit of power by building this item.
Alright, best bar just got out, can't even press the Haymaker. This is big. Pentagon through Dragon, the support, the main engage of Gecko, or one of the main engages, is unavailable. B-Ray flashes forward, gets the root onto Naxi, and now they're trying to get out the Folter, jumping forward, it's a shutout. Look at Bianchi in the backside, lobes down onto Kami, Kami keep on the burst as Enlier is doing the rest of the work, and Metashock are just walking over Gecko, getting all the kills they can find. The Roman is the last one standing at the Folter, trying to run forward. Bianchi jumps in with the hook shot. Who's gonna find the kill? It is going to be Bianchi. That's the ace, and this should be the game. Game 2 going over to Metashock as they bring us into a deciding game 3.
Yeah, they're not going down without a fight, and this change in draft, what just looks like more comfort for them, has paid off. Excellent still had impact on Lee Sin, but this time they was able to match the pressure, and that's the important thing to mention. They just could have kept up with Lee Sin pressure this time around, just understood that Lee wanted to go bot lane and exploited it.
Yeah, and I guess the obvious question that now jumps my mind is whether or not Gecko are reliant on this early game snowball, or whether or not it was just that they were used to getting the early lead and something went wrong this game.
I think it's a bit of both, and also they underestimated the Camille. Because when it got to that Dragon team fight, the very important one, what swung things for them, the Camille was just stunning people and stunning people and stunning people and just putting out loads of damage. And people were just like, okay, we have to kill Camille, but Endler's free hitting us. Like, they just had nothing to deal with the front line of the Camille, and they had nothing to reach Tristana in the end.
Yeah, and what a comeback it was for Medishock. They managed to find the win, put themselves at 1-1 in the series. And honestly, Enlir on that Tristana kind of popping off.
Yeah, I'd say so. They definitely popped off this time round. And Tristana was just a big pickup in this draft, was not really able to be shut down at any point in the game. When they did, it was like at a cost of like 4 members. It wasn't worth it whenever you killed Tristana. It just didn't pay off.
No, it did not. But I think on that we will just throw it over to the short break because we still have the deciding game 3 ahead of us. So don't go anywhere. We will be right back. Welcome back after the break, everyone. We are ready for the final match between the teams from ETH Zurich and University of Bern. It is 1-1, and this game will decide it all.
Yeah, this game will decide it all this time round. I'm interested to see what's going to come through on bans because we thought last game Lee Sin was going to get banned away for sure. They chose not to. They said, okay, we can deal with it. We have a plan. We understand what he wants to do. And they pretty much did. They read the Lee Sin. They said, okay, he's going to camp bot. And it all came from that Nautilus interrupt in the bot lane where Lee Sin looked for more kills, got punished for his greed, and they started to look more like a team. They started to look more organized. And then when it got to team fights at that Dragon, Camille was online at this point, and the front to back was just enough for them to get the win in the end because they couldn't deal with Camille and Tristan at the same point.
Yeah, and the big question that I took away from last game was whether or not Gecko can play when they aren't snowballing ahead. And to be honest, drafting Lee Sin, even though, doesn't necessarily fall as hard of as in the previous metas, still doesn't really help you as much as in the early game. Maybe that is part of the problem, or maybe it is actually something with the team that they have to play through this early game. Now they are also, last chance, so we will see what comes out of them.
Dude, it's going to be interesting to see if Top's still going to go for the Gnar pick, because the Gnar didn't work too much, especially into the Camille. It looked like he struggled a little bit more that time around. Obviously, the Camille got a decent CS lead. Talking of CS leads, I can't go without mentioning B-rate, because that man just keeps getting a massive lead out of nowhere. Doesn't even need kills to do so. The guy just accumulates such a big lead in just CSing alone.
Yeah, just superior CSing, honestly. It seems like B-Raid able to get ahead each and every single time, which, also puts a thought into my head that maybe, just maybe, Gecko would want to draft something which, B-Raid needs to farm well in order to scale with. I mean, Victor is probably going to get banned. You're not going to get that again, but, there are other late game carries.
Yeah, I don't think we'll ever see the Victor again. I don't think they want to deal with that. And talking of not wanting to be dealt with, the Tristana and Warwick are going to be brought into question for sure because, like we said, Tristana was free hitting, but Warwick also opened up that window by getting that triple kill, became relevant, became unkillable because they didn't even build anti-healing against him either.
Yeah, there wasn't really anything stopping all that. I mean, you could just see Perfolter in those teamfights killing insane amounts. But we are in the draft for the third game. Blue side, Meta Shock, and red side, Gecko. First two bans still the same. Victor taken off the board, so B-Rate is not going to get that into his hands.
And for the third game in a row, no Malzahar. This champion's just not being seen around here. No one bursts QSS anyway, not even against Lysandria, so no Malzahar to be seen. Doesn't surprise me either. But is there any more adaptation? That's what I'm kind of waiting for. Ezreal taken away again, so no more safety in the bot lane, no more Ezreal. Okay.
Respectable. I mean,
Yeah.
Yankee had one hell of a performance on that champion.
And we talked about it being an issue, the Camille. Talked about not being able to match up into the matchup, not able to really lane into it. So they're just going to take it away, create some more comfort for themselves, but they unleash the Warwick again.
Yep, Walter is going to be back on the champion, which very much felt like comfort in the last game. The real question is whether we will see the Lee Sin, but Lulu is a champion which I believe was only banned in the first game in second phase, but other than that has not seen any light.
Yeah, so we're going to see a different variation, and the Lulu is a flex, so let's not get baited by it just yet.
Yep.
Can go top, mid, and support.
I
so
think
we do
we know
have
where it's
options
going.
there. I think I know where it's going. I think that's a dead giveaway where it's going.
Yeah.
Exton likes to show pressure towards that bot lane, especially as well. So this adds to the point of playing Lulu Cog. If Exton can just keep that pressure in the bot side, keep protecting his bot lane with Lulu Cog in his team, they won't have an issue shredding through Leona. They won't have an issue shredding through Warwick. They're not going to have an issue shredding through anything. They just need to keep them alive, keep them safe.
Not even mentioning how fun it is to play Lulu into Warwick, because Warwick ults a carry. Oh well, guess what? You're gonna ult the carry as well, and Warwick gets knocked up, interrupting the ultimate. So that in itself is a pretty good answer to that champion. But since we had Gecko go for the scaling, we now see Metashok just doubling down on the aggression and engage.
Yeah, and that's what we need to see more of in our comp. We need to see more aggression, more engage. Just deny Cog and Lulu protection. Focus the Lulu, not the Cog, and you'll kill Cog just as easy because then Lulu's out the equation. No more shielding, no more healing, and it's just going to make it a lot easier to take them down.
Now, Viego is a champion we have not seen at all today.
He's been banned most of the games, I believe.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, Gecko are just getting new champions altogether. They scrap everything they played before and just trying something completely new.
Yeah, and that could honestly be jungle. It could be mid, could be top. So there you go. And the way they played last game, it would be interesting to see if it ever goes top because we've seen Gnar multiple games in a row. So I don't expect it towards the top lane. I'm highly expecting it to be jungle with B rate on an AP carry in the mid. But I'm really interested to see where they're going. They ban away mid laners, so it could be mid lane.
Yeah, it is a flex pick at the end of the day, so we will not really find out until, well, probably even last pick. Malphite taken off the table, which I don't think we've seen any priority towards Malphite, but if you throw in the Malphite into that combo that Metashock have, it definitely slots in well, so I can't criticize the ban.
Yeah, for sure. It also denies even more hard engage, giving Cogmore even more protection.
Alright, then Volibear is going to be the last ban. That I think is a constant that we have seen in the second phase, just taken off time and time again. I believe it is another champion that the Roman can play outside of the Gnar, so this is where it is coming from. As a Hover, okay, let's not talk about the Hovers. What are we going to see though? Because I believe that there's some frontline slash engage necessary for Gecko.
There is, and the Orn Horn is being unleashed. You need engage, you need frontline. How to sum it up in one champion? Orn.
And also extra scaling. You've got those items.
Yeah,
So it
the
fits in
ornaments.
perfect. The ornaments are great, and the Mundo Hover, it was banned. It was banned both games, so it makes sense that it is locked in now when it's open.
And Mundo has no issue building armor and magic resist because able to build Spirit Visage on Mundo, it's a good day for Mundo. Mundo's fine with that, he's happy with that. It's practically his best item. And the current items you see on Mundo, you'll see the Frostfire Gauntlet into, depending on what he needs next, Randuin's a Spirit Visage. He has options. So Mundo is quite strong. And I will say this, Mundo's new W, it will restore a percentage of the damage dealt to him back as HP. Rank 1. Get this, rank 1 will restore 25%. That is no joke of a number.
Yeah, that's a lot.
He's already getting nerfed on PBE because of this. Because people are maxing W second, people realize how good this is. And it goes from 25% to 30, 35, 40, 45. So able to really sustain a lot of the damage up. My main issue is looking at the engage tools of the side of Metashock. It is going to be harder to pull off. You're kind of only relying on Leona unless Warwick wants to jump in, which then what you said is going to happen. He's going to get polymorphed. He's going to get knocked up. That is the main issue. So I'm kind of leaning towards Gecko, despite them going for double scaling. They do have weaker laning phases, though, with Ludicog with the Rise. You're kind of giving up a lot of pressure.
Well, you say double scaling. I'm looking at the Steam and I think all of them scale. I genuinely don't think there is a single champion with the intent of, being expressly early game. I mean, Viego can do something early game. You kind of have to have someone who can do something. But other than that, they are just looking at 30 minutes plus, and chilling with 3 items on everyone. And by that point, I think it might be unwinnable for Metashock.
Well, you do have the Orn. The Orn gives you a lot of early game pressure with his early game damage.
Yeah, that's true.
Orn practically has an assassin level 1 to 3. If you're not careful, he will assassinate you because his damage is through the roof. And people forget about it because the percent health damage on Bella's breath. So we do have the early game pressure there. I'm just a little bit worried of them going double scaling lanes with the Rise Cogmore. Can they get to the stage where they're actually going to come online?
Yeah, that's going to be really the whole question, I think, of this game. And it's also on Metashock whether they can punish it or not. Because they've got the engages, I guess, of Warwick, Syndra, Leona. They all have tools with which they can pick out champions, but they're not necessarily the easiest tools. It is, quite easy to miss those or dodge that if you have the flash for anyone on Gecko. And also there needs to be proactiveness. We saw that from Metashock Game 2. Now they absolutely need to do it in this game.
Yeah, for sure. Because if they don't, like we said, the scaling is an option. If they take this game too long, Cogmore, Cogmore Lulu, they're just gonna start doing their thing and absolutely melting everyone and anyone. They will need to buy anti-healing still. This is very, very important. They need anti-healing for Warwick. They need it for Mundo. I'm really on the fence in this game. I don't know who I favor because it's very, very. It's I don't know the way to word it. It's very, very snowbally in both ways. Even if you do have scaling, 1 or 2 kills could seal it.
Yeah, I agree with you there because I don't think either of these teams have great mechanisms for coming back when they're behind. Of course, when you are Gecko, you bank it on late game. You need to make sure you're not 5,000 gold behind because then you just don't get to farm and your plan falls apart. But then if you're Metashock, they also have champions which sort of only tend to go forward in terms of the game state. If you don't make proactive plays, then what really is the use for Warwick, Syndra, or Tristana?
Yeah, and they don't have any disengage at all. So it's even more scary for them because they have no disengage to sort of turn things around if they need to run away. Whereas the other team, they have a one. They can literally throw out the ult, and that's slow enough is them enough for them to disengage. Your ult can hit it again to knock you up.
Yeah. So really, Metashock just doubling down, and with what we saw in the game 2 can be repeated here, then I have quite good feeling for them. They can go for those early game fights and find them. Now the real question is going to be on Gecko, I think, this game, because we saw them snowball, we saw them fall apart when they got snowballed upon, and they are drafting a late game composition. If we only know what we saw of them here, this doesn't really make sense.
Yeah, I think that's a fair statement. I'm mainly interested to see how Extent's going to play this game because he got read like a book in last game. And there's no easier way to put it because he did. They knew he was just going to go straight bot lane again and again. They read it and they said, okay, we're going to counter gank this. And it just led to Warwick getting fed. It led to Tristana getting fed and the game just getting out of their hands. So he really needs to be a little bit more creative and see what he can make happen here.
Yeah, and let's not forget, last game of the series for it all. This is the second clash between the University of Bern and ETH Zurich, with Zurich getting the win in CSGO. Now, this one is what will decide which university is the better one in League of Legends.
Yeah, and they want to tie up that rivalry too. They want to make it 1-1 instead of 1-0 instead of 2-0, sorry, in 2 games. So all to play for. 1 game apiece. And to be honest, last game was a banger. If it's anything like last game, any team can win.
For sure, as if this is anything like the last 2 games, we are just going to see a standard cover. For both of the squads not interested in invades or the likes, and yeah, literally just sitting there, and we're gonna have about 2 minutes of chilling out before literally anything happens.
Yep. And pretty much standard across the board. I'm looking at runes and nothing really stands out. The only thing that stands out is obviously the Lulu took exhaust and the Cogmore took heal. No barrier heal down here. Do like the exhaust still because you're going to be able to deny a lot of the damage of Tristana if she jumps in, and same for Syndra. If you ever get a chance of exhaust range of her, you will have that available.
For sure. As one of the junglers actually starting on the top side of the map. I believe last 2 games we saw both of them starting on the red buff. As Accent potentially. No, you can't solo cracks. No, that's not a strat, right? Yeah, he's gonna go to red. Good.
Yeah, that's not a thing. Don't worry.
At least a bit worried there.
I've never seen it, so I don't expect to see it either. So I've seen Wolves. That's not bad. Wolves is actually quite a good solo start for a lot of junglers these days, but not many people still do it. They'd rather still just have their leash than have a buff.
Something important is that Best Bard did use the shield onto Cammy in order to fake the leash. The question is whether or not Metashot will get baited.
Yep, will they get baited or not? I mean, probably not, because how early they came to lane, so... I mean, I highly doubt it, because that's still incredibly fast to get back to lane that fast, so... Maybe? I'm gonna say maybe, because you never know. You never know what's going on in comms.
We have absolutely no way of knowing what's going on down there, as both junglers actually opting into full clear Sexton. You can see the difference in this man's attitude between, playing Lee Sin, going aggressively, needing to find ganks, and now playing Viego, sort of a bit more chilled out, getting all that CS that he can.
I would have let the Zenith Blade hit in bot lane, because Leona would be straight under tower. And
that's also true, yeah.
That's an easy polymorph kill, or even both summoners blown. Talking of summoners, Ignite blown in bot lane.
Yeah, and Best Bard is still on half health. I mean, as Lulu, you don't really have any sustain, but into engaged lanes, you don't need to always watch your health.
See, to be honest, a lot of the time I like Relic on Lulu, just because it gives you more HP, it gives you more safety against these aggressive lanes. And sometimes you might get punished for going for that extra poke, and it looks like that's what they tried doing, because Lulu did get chunked out.
Yeah. The Falter will take that Scuttle Crab and is immediately running to the top one, so I think Extend is about to get double scuttled. There's priority for the Roman in the top lane, but I don't think it's going to be enough.
That is my biggest pet peeve. Seeing a mid jungler just walk through mid lane, giving away their entire jungle pathing. I get it's for double scuttle, but I don't think he was under much threat. You could have walked the safe way round, but nonetheless.
Okay, that is a very low bot lane. I am not entirely sure what happened, but suddenly the bot lane of Gecko has no summoners, and this is huge.
Wow. Yeah, it's completely flipped on its head, and is it going to be a case of Enla popping off on Tristana again? This time RTN is on the Leona. Last time we seen Leona, Best Bard was playing it. So it looks like they're having their good fun with Leona in this game, because all summoners are gone.
And this time it is RTN on Engage Support and Best Bard on the Enchanter. We saw Best Bard 2 games on Engage Support. RTN had, fair share first Enchanter, then the Engage, and yeah, now having that Leona feels pretty good.
Yeah, Gecko's struggling a little bit in the early game, but it's kind of what you come to expect, especially when you're playing a scaling lane. You expect them to be bullied a little bit. Viego picked up an early Sheen. Not the best early pickup as much as it is, because you can abuse the Sheen, but not as good at just working for the phase. But Viego getting a gank in the top side.
Yeah, remember, Bianchi is immune to the first crowd control, and yeah, Bianchi just gets out.
Yeah, the crowd control doesn't hit anyway, and he's just able to walk away safely. And Mundo generally is a safe champion. You can blow summoners, he can sit back and farm with cleavers. He doesn't have an issue.
Yeah, but furthermore, Bianchi is 15 CS ahead right now in this top lane. B-Rate, of course, still doing B-Rate things. So overall, the gold, still within touching distance, but that Mundo is definitely doing more than just staying safe.
Oh, for sure. And interesting enough, the Ornn didn't do the Ornn strat, and what I mean by this, you start refillable, you go to lane, you farm a couple minions, and then you build a Doran shield. He didn't do that, unfortunately. He went to base, bought refillable. He's got an early Bramble Vest. That will definitely help him a little bit. Going to able to deal with some of the healing from Mundo, but Mundo having the Bammy Cinder is such a big spike for him in terms of 1v1.
All the extra damage that Bianchi is now going to have will make sure that the Roman needs to stay vigilant. But I think the way in which we should, see this game, and the way in which I want to start to portray this, is basically damage control for Gecko. What can Gecko do? How much can they give up without still falling behind? And right now, they are doing excellent.
Yeah. Warwick has his early Tiamat as well, by the way, so Warwick is going to be able to clear faster. We haven't seen anything from Warwick yet. He is not level 6, so we're just waiting for that level 6 spike for Warwick to start making things happen on this map. This is probably the most quiet we've ever seen Extant in an early game so far, but he's on a different champion.
I mean, it's good to show, at the end of the day, this is an exhibition match, so showing that you are capable of playing those two very different styles of jungler is, good for you.
There's the assassin damage right there.
Yep.
And Mundo actually popped the ultimate. The only reason you could actually tell, Mundo gets a little bit bigger, he starts glowing more. Depending on what skin, sometimes his top will be like fully broken. So Mundo, no ultimate there.
The Roman having a lot of clapping damage, but Bianchi, one more auto will do. Oh no way, the Cleaver for the first blood, and Bianchi picks up the kill in top lane.
Yeah, the Cleaver sniping him on his way out, saying, "Nope, you ain't getting away from me, Chief." It was a good attempt. I don't blame the Roman for going for it. With Mundo having no ultimate, that was your best scenario, but also the Bami's damage on top of that is just way too much.
Yeah, unfortunately, the Bramble Vest is not going to save you, as Emilio takes a turret shot. So, okay, so we have this one kill now over in Bianchi, but outside of that, all of the lanes are even or ahead. I mean, B-Ray keeps doing his thing on Rise, getting that CS, and honestly, this is also what I wanted to see in draft. I said, put B-Ray on a champion where he can just farm up and win the game in that way, and I feel like Rise into Syndra is definitely one of those matchups.
Yeah, for sure. One thing I'm kind of curious about though, Cogmore's items.
Yes.
And I'm going to tell you why I don't like it.
Okay.
Because that means he's building towards his Immortal Shieldbird's first item. Cogmore does not build a Mythic till third item. You usually go Berserker Greaves into Wit's End, which obviously Wit's End will actually counter the Syndra and the Warwick and the Mundo pretty heavily because they're all magic damage.
Exton has got the flash, will not use it. Bianchi, second kill on the Mundo, and yeah, let's just get back to the Cogmo items. Hold on, talking about the Cogmo, I think they might be getting slightly blown up. That's best part going down. 3 summoners for 2, and that's a kill onto Enleer.
And I talked about who you have to focus in this lane, and they heard me. They heard me for sure because they went straight for the Lulu. Taking Lulu down just means there's no protection for the Cogmore. Cog is left on his own in his bot lane now. With Lulu level 5 as well, Leona level 6.
Yeah, if you can delay that wild growth spike for the Lulu, you are buying yourself so much time and resources because of that. I mean, the spike is just insane. You can't really underrate it. And now, yeah, Best Buy is going to get it a bit later on. So, Medishock, from their perspective, they are starting off really well. A kill in the bot lane, 2 kills in the top lane, steady gold stream, and now picking up the Herald as well.
Yes, some big pickups. 3 kills ahead, nearly 2k gold ahead. This is the best we've seen them in the early game. And they need to. They know they need to. They're against the team who want to scale. We talked about it. B-Rate getting a champion where you can just sit and farm on. But bot lane getting a little bit exposed with Best Bar dying. So, want to see where they're going to use this Herald. Want to see what they want to pressure with it. I prefer bot lane because mid lane's been untouchable.
Yeah, B-Rate literally just cutting out waves, picking up almost every single minion in this lane. Now,
wait,
IBM, looking forward.
Kachka.
Yeah.
Look at top lanes, yes!
I am seeing it, yes. it is pretty sizable.
That is absolutely huge. Mundo 93 CS, 53. Full Soulfire items.
The Falter will still be healing with this ultimate. The execute not coming through, and Naxi picks up the kill. And you're jumping forward, but the Realm Ward from B-Rate, he is out. The bomb not enough damage.
Yeah, unless you have anti-healing, that isn't going to work. And it shows. You look for the execute on Perfolter, but Perfolter sustaining up all your damage, and you just had nothing to take him down.
Yeah, Warwick is unfortunately one of those champions that you have to get anti-heal, or he will just heal up for ages. Best Bart now will have to use the wild growth. I was holding on since Enleer did have access to the Buster Shot and the Flash, but did not decide to full commit for this kill. They have got the Falter The bot lane with them. Let's see, is there a dive imminent? No solar flare available. Herald will be dropped down.
No mana on Leona though. They're only going to have enough for maybe 1 or 2 abilities. Probably just fill up the plates, right?
Here's the plates, a bit of gold split between 3 members, so not that huge individually. But I think this is exactly what Metashop needs to do. No more, no less. We're 12 minutes in, they are pushing their gold lead forward, they keep funneling gold into their members, and they are not giving up an inch to Gecko.
Yeah, not going for that dive is the best option, and I like that they didn't go for it. I like that they took the time to extend going to the top lane.
They're not gonna find anything because Bianchi had the flash and used it at the perfect time.
And this is what I talked about. This champion is just very, very safe. He's very hard to punish. But look at the damage coming out from the cleavers. It's even going to heal him back up for every one he hits on a champion as well. Heals him more than it does on minions. So Mundo is relaxing in that top side.
And you already mentioned the CS advantage. It just keeps growing. I think we're sitting at 41 right now. And Bianchi just keeps getting gold funneled into him. So that is a completed Sunfire Aegis less than 30 minutes in. And that has been sitting in his inventory for a while. So I suspect if Bianchi backs off now, it is going to be even more.
Yeah, it's going to be even more. I don't like the Sunfire item he went for. And I'm going to tell you why. Frostfire is just so much better because your champion doesn't have a lot of things to catch on to people other than chasing with Cleaver and having approach velocity, right? So if you have the Frostfire, you're able to slow them so you can stay consistently on them. So you can never escape from you unless they flash. And if they flash, you can probably still catch them. And it's honestly why that build has been winning the games the most on Mundo. Because what that champion lacks is staying on top of people.
Okay, fair enough. I mean, we'll see if Bianchi can still do that. He has a lot of crowd control in his team. You've got, you know, the Singer, the Leona, the Warwick, so maybe he just decided that actually he just needs to be a beefy frontline, take as much damage as possible. But something that I... Hold on, I think the moment might just die. How absolutely disgusting. Bianchi walks in, walks out, just pops the ultimate, and that's it. Doesn't need to give a damn about anything else in the world.
And something's happening in the bot side as well. Both teams were staggering around. The Viego was looking to fight, but the Warwick hunt turned on, kind of signified to back away. You don't want any trouble with this Warwick, not yet. Especially when you had a full item on base. And something I was going to touch upon.
Oh, I don't think you get to right now because there is a card going down. Wild go teleport in as well, just to make sure this kill will be good enough. Flash, stun. Naxa is there, but look at Enlia's HP. Kaze is now going to get stunned up. The Unleash Power doesn't really do anything near what you were hoping for, and Cammy finds this snipe onto Enlir. The fight turned around in favor of Gecko.
Yeah, you used your Unleashed Power on a Cogmore that has Wit's End. I talked about Wit's End countering these 3 AP champions you have on your team. You cannot ult the Cogmore. Otherwise, he gets to live for free. He had Shield, he had Wit's End. Go for the Lulu. But unfortunately, it's just wasted. And you know what this means? Ryze is chilling. Ryze has nearly 50 CS lead from this alone. He's getting a bigger lead, while bot lane's getting ahead too.
Everfrost completed. Mercury Treads now also that tier is slowly stacking up. And
ouch!
Yeah, this is honestly good gameplay from Gecko right now. I mean, Megashock have not been able to extend their lead recently, let's just say. I mean, yes, Bianchi keeps punishing the top lane, and you do see a play go their way once in a while. And I think the biggest indicator of this game, of the state of this game, is going to be the next dragon. That is where we're going to have the questions answered of who actually is in the driver's seat now.
Yeah, and Syndra doesn't have any boots. She doesn't have any Magic Pen. Magic Pen's very, very important on this champion. If you want to kill Cogmore, if you want to kill Ryze even, you're going to need that Magic Pen. But you're not going to have it in time for Dragon, so it's going to be a big miss of power, really.
Yeah, you're going to lack that burst. I mean, we just saw the Unleashed Power dealing, you know, kind of underwhelming damage in that fight in the bot side. Now, the tower was taken, but no one is going to be able to cash in on the gold before this dragon fight. It is Cloud Soul, so admittedly, you know, not necessarily the best if you are a Metashock, but I can tell you, for Cloud Soul Lulu, That ultimate is on no cooldown. As in Lear going for Cammy, but still Cammy survives the polymorph coming through. Best part, well go man, that is the new dead.
That is Lulu dead. That is the important target dead before the dragon. Should be a free pickup now because Cogmore's too low to even come back. Easy as you like. 6 kills to 1, 27k to 23k. Still Metashock in control, but they can't afford to drop any other kills.
Yeah, it really feels that way. I mean, we see the gold right now, and the only real lead is top lane and ADC. I mean, you've got some gold advantage in the jungle, but it's mostly this top lane. That is almost the entirety of their lead, and Bianchi is not going to be the one who wins the game.
And if you don't buy anti-heal, it's not gonna matter. This is the main point we've been talking about. There's a Fed Mundo and a Warwick who's considerably strong. If you don't buy anti-heal for the champions, you will not kill them. I'd be happy to admit I was wrong about the Cogmore buying the wrong item because he bought the right one. Made me very happy. And on just getting a little bit of damage from Leona. Just, you know, a little tank v tank.
Yeah. Mid laner is also just fighting over the Scuttle, so no, all is well. On Summoner Swift, it is just standard League of Legends gameplay. The second Herald is up on the map, but no one really paying too much attention to take it. Now, Sunderer finished for Perfolter. This was a recent pickup, and it is pretty big, because we saw the healing before, while Sunderer just makes it that much worse. Engaging the top lane, onto and Lear has got still the flash available, but Execute coming through from Extant.
Yeah, finding the free pickup with Tristan out of position, that's really going to put her a little bit behind. Her losing pressure on the map, her losing time on the map. She's going to give Cogmore more time to farm, more Cogmore levels really as well. So, Cogmore's grouping. This is a little bit of a waste, but it looks like they might be looking towards fighting.
Yeah, Best Bard actually able to still hold himself. Keep your eyes on Cammy because that damage is just coming out at a massive rate. RTN finally finding this stun, and B-Ray picks up a falter. RTN has to flash out, but it is Gecko at 19 minutes in. They are winning teamfights. This shouldn't happen that early on.
No, this shouldn't happen this early on. It's a team what needs to scale, and it's like you said, 19 minutes, and that looked convincing from them.
I mean, you were not able to burst down Best Bard. I have no idea what happened there, but the Voodoo should have been dead even through the wild growth. Now, I mean, Metashock are trying to push for this mid lane tower, which is good. They are going to be able to get themselves some gold, but you really gotta wonder what is going on in those fights.
Yeah, it seems like something's missing, something's lacking. Obviously, like I said, the Syndra still doesn't have them Salt Boots. It's really, really gonna hurt her. She doesn't have any boots to say. She just bought her first pair now, and then needed to see Large Rod. That could have been her Salt Boots fully finished, by the way.
Yeah, easily. I mean, the needlessly large rod costs more than the fully completed sword boots. However, something that I do like to see is that B-Ray picked up that Oblivion Orb. Now, I feel like I'm hearing a Jaws theme in the background, because B-Ray has no idea that Bianchi is here. I think you saw him right now, but Bianchi is just running towards B-Ray. The Everfrost is going to miss. That's the phase rush, trying to run away, trying to juke out, but just don't run away from Mundo. Bianchi goes on a rampage.
Mundo goes where he pleases, and if that means you're in a side lane, he's coming for you. Because you're AP, what does Mundo like? AP champion. And you're going to do absolutely nothing to him.
Yeah, Bianchi's still not playing the Camille, but having complete domination.
That's the hilarious part.
I know.
He's not playing Camille, but he's still the side lane god and just says, you know, if you're going to show up, I'm going to kill you.
Yeah, Exton has to actually use the Heartbreaker to get out. Not what you want to see from the usage of this ultimate, especially 1 minute before the dragon. And we are at a soul point for Metashock.
It's a shame there's no set on their team, because then you'd get to say something great, which is the Icebreaker, Heartbreaker, Haymaker, which is... It's amazing when it happens. I've seen it once and I was sat there and all like, that's really good. I like this.
Yeah, I mean, Riot's got them rhymes ready, you know?
They're just setting up for Captain Flowers, you know.
True. I mean, honestly, with the abilities coming out from the recent champions, I think this theory actually has more viability than you might think at first.
Yeah, for sure. Still hate that Viega's Q is Blade of the Rune King, because
Yeah.
he builds Blade of the Rune King as well.
Alright, well, that's the Zenith Blade going wide. Kami is the first one at front. Not what you want to see. Call of the Forge Rod goes up. The Falter is going to be a target. Look at those stands. They're absolutely massive in the backline. Double kill picked up by Bianchi. Double kill picked up by Emily. And it's only B-Ray that survives and has not got the flash up quite yet. But doesn't matter. Under the tower, will be able to get out. 4 kills still for Menashok as they get the Cloud Soul.
You're trapped in a chokehold, and that's what RTN wants. A massive, massive Leona ult. Catching pretty much nearly everyone. It hit 3 members. Just setting their team up for success, and they look like they're not slowing down. That was very, very convincing.
Red team's turret has been
And
destroyed.
Naxei and RTN, both of them using the abilities to find the stuns in the chokehold. As you said, we are 23 minutes in, and I feel like this is the breaking point that Metashok needed. Now, it is insanely hard for Gekko to come back in this game.
Insanely hard. They need another 15 minutes at least, but they might not get that.
Yeah, we see the goal. The only lane where they have a lead is mid, and even that is shrinking tremendously. Top lane, I don't think I even need to mention at this point. It's disgusting. Jungle, 500, manageable, but AD carry. This is now becoming the big sticking point, because we saw what Enleo was able to do last game on that Tristana went ahead. Now that's a 2000 gold lead over his opponent, and I just want to see what items he is buying right now.
I'm not gonna lie, that Mundo skin is actually really sick. Like, that's
Still
the first
prefer
time we...
corporate.
It's the first time we see it in game. I played corporate myself the other day. It's really funny still. Like, you come out of base in a mini car.
I mean, honestly, I just love like the stride that skin has. I like honestly just play the the white Putin walking meme music. Pretty sure it's DMCA, so I'm not gonna sing it on stream. So, but you know which one I think.
Yeah, I know which one you mean. For sure. Couple more 2 items now. Rise very close to finishing his here item. I have completely forgotten what it is called. That's good if you can remember. The Archangel.
Oh yeah, oh that one, yeah.
Also, I'm about to be a sad, sad man if I see Merc Treads.
God. Imagine if he had Sork boots.
Yeah. I'm a little bit behind you by like 2 seconds, so I didn't really have time to see that till now. Yeah, if he builds Merc Treads on Syndra, I'm about to be a salty man.
I would not blame you. I would be salty man as well. However, I do need to provide balance to this cast, so I just won't be salty.
I'll be salty enough for the both of us, it's fine.
Okay, fair enough. Extend caught out of position with a great solo player, and Miller swoops in for the kill, and the Roman is going to be next. With the rest, I think in place, but he just dashes away. Now, keep your eyes on Naxei. He's fishing for those stuns. Bianchi on the sideline and Metashok. They now have complete control over this game.
Yeah, you can't use the Harrowed Path in your jungle when there are 4 members in your jungle. That just reveals where you are. It's...
And dog boots, please. Come on, how many times? How many times do you must you let someone nearly escape?
This is the 4th time this game, and I have been counting. 4th time. They would have been dead if you finished Salt Boots before your Archangels. Syndra's big power spike is Salt Boots.
Hold on. Let's see, because this is kind of getting interesting. Bianchi is gonna get knocked. Okay, it just got very boring when I said it's interesting. Fair enough. Bianchi heals up to 3/4, and nothing happened.
Nothing happens at all. This man nearly has his Spirit Visage as soon as that's finished. Good luck ever killing him on the side lane, because you have so much magic damage. The only person who could is Viega when he finishes Blade of Rune King.
Yeah, that's still probably quite a while away. I mean, actually sitting on the component, so maybe not that far away. But still, how do Gekko try and come back in this game? Because it is starting to look like they're losing footing everywhere.
Well, the game is being stalled enough, to be honest, because look at Rise. He's nearly Flame Horizon Syndra here. has his items getting really, really strong. All changes is a big power spike because the mana giving him more damage as well. Man, looks like he might be caught out of position. Has to flash away to safety.
That was the flash from B-Rate. And it's not going to be available for the next fight, which kind of unlucky given that we have the Elder Dragon coming up in 1 minute 40. Also, Naxei did finish Merc Treads on the Syndra, so
Just why? You've seen
we
how many
go.
times you nearly killed Lulu, but you just needed them Salt Boots to finish him. It would practically make you do true damage to this Lulu, who has no magic resist. I'm just baffled.
yeah, I'm not entirely sure either. But I am just going to offer the words that I said last game. Is if it works, it works. So far we have Metashock that are winning, and yes, we could have had Naxei be the one-shot machine and get a couple of more kills for the team, but at the end of the day, if you can get the win, then that's all that matters, as the Roman is going to get blown up by Naxei. They ult somehow dealing enough damage, and the top lane hit card is going to fall down. You know, Kabi is just using Bianchi on the side lane.
Yeah, I said they were stalling long enough, but I mean, not anymore, because it looks like they're entering the base. They'll take the inhibitors. They could keep going, but looks like they decided not to.
Okay, instead it is Bianchi just hammering away on this bot lane tide. Well, look for it from B-Rate. He's trying to kite back with the overloads. Best Bard is now here, provides the shield, and Bianchi walks away.
And Bianchi walks away.
I feel like I've said this way too many times this game.
That's just the story of an AP trying to kill a Mundo. It's just not gonna happen. No matter what you do, it's just not gonna happen. Cogmore is your best chance because of the percent health damage he does. But anyone else? Maybe Viego with Cogmore? That might be.
Okay, what is going to be first? Is Bianchi going to die, or is the Elder Dragon going to die?
I'm going Elder. I'm a little bit behind, but I'm going Elder.
Yeah, I can already tell you you're right. Bianchi is still over half HP, and the Elder Dragon got picked up by Metashock. All they need is one team fight in order to win this game and bring the balance across CSGO and League of Legends to these two universities.
I mean, they have no anti-heal. They have Oblivion Orb, but Rise isn't the one hitting him. They have Bramble, but Mundo's not hitting on. Like, I don't know what to say. They just haven't itemized for the Mundo.
Mundo goes where he pleases this game, as there's no one to stop him. That is the stun onto B-Ray, Xenoblade going wide. Call of the Forge God is going to finally engage onto Naxei, knocked up. Falter taking quite a bit of damage. There's the minion wave coming in from the top side, but oh my god, the bomb on the tower, and there is the engage. Best Bard is already dead, and that's the whole team falling apart like a house of cards. Metashock will take the game 3 in a commanding fashion as they win the match 2-1.
It seems like game 1 was just their warm-up game. They sort of just had fun, was like, alright, we're going to try some new stuff, and then just switched on game 2 and 3. I just said, you know what? We're done trying stuff. We're going to bust out Tristana. You don't ban Mundo, we're going to pick Mundo. You don't ban Warwick, we're going to play Warwick again because it worked. And it just looked very, very convincing. Both games just looked very in their favor. Despite game 2 having some kills going back and forth, didn't look like ever a point where they could have lost.
Yeah, and Metashock, what a comeback just in this series overall. Game 2, you know, wasn't necessarily the cleanest sweep, but this game, they just came in to play, and the adaptations are great. I mean, you know, maybe a bit questionable for an adaptation from the side of Gecko, but it's hard to say at this point whether it was Metashock playing well or Gecko playing bad that got them to this point.
Yeah, no, I'd agree. I just like how they just didn't slow down this game. I feel like that is a big credit because the game before, they probably could have ended a bit earlier. It seems like this game, they sped things up. They said, you know what, we can't mess around. Rise is farming. Rise is out farming Syndra by a ton. Like, we need to pull the trigger and just not slow down. And it's exactly what they did. But then Bianchi just played Camille in a version of Mundo in the side lane and just said, you're never going to kill me.
Yeah, it was honestly that simple. But I think this is going to be it. Congratulations to the University of Bern's Metashock for beating ETH Zurich Gecko in a League of Legends. But yeah, thank you all for watching and have a great night.